this is Gilbert Gottfried, and it's Gilbert Gottfried's Amazing Colossal Podcast with my co-host, Frank Santopadre at Nutmeg Post. We're talking to Craig Bierico, Drew Friedman, Tom Leopold, Bill Persky, and Paul Schaefer for our big one-year anniversary show. Don't miss it.
The theater
When do we start?
to recharge.
Starting now.
Here we
Okay.
go.
Hi, I'm Gilbert Gottfried.
Hi, Gilbert.
Hi, hello, Paul. Hi, I'm Gilbert Gottfried, and this is Gilbert Gottfried's Amazing Colossal Podcast. We're here at Nutmeg Post with our engineer, Frank Verderosa.
Wow.
Credit to his family, the way you pronounce
I love that show, The Verderosa.
And I can't,
The color looked fake.
Can't believe we've made it this far, but this is our first anniversary show, so we've invited back 5 of our favorite guests.
Available.
Well, actually, there were 5 people who just answered the phone.
Oh.
So welcome in
Joe Franklin
alphabetical order. A terrific, versatile actor and singer, and a man who feels connected with his Jewish heritage. Even
Well, you don't want to be first.
even though his mother seems to be
Just say low man on the
ashamed of her Jewish heritage because she switched over to Christianity.
Good introduction.
No, she was ashamed of him.
And anyway, Craig Bierico,
Okay, that's Craig. Thank you.
whose mother's ashamed of being a Jew.
Well, why even mention? Of course she is. Got him upset already.
That's kind of a no-brainer.
Wandering around in circles like that.
Hey, Craig.
And
Yeah.
No offense.
Who's the next least important person in the room? That's interesting. Who's on the money on now?
Building up.
and my favorite artist,
Thank you.
the brilliant and insanely talented Drew Friedman.
That's it? No insults. Thank you. Thank you.
He said you were insane. What is that's a compliment?
Judas. Yes. And from Cheers, Seinfeld.
No, don't kid around on this one.
And shows too numerous to mention, the comedy writer, Tom Leopold.
Tommy, he's
You're going to
great.
get the old waterworks going, my friend.
He's funny.
Talk about someone who's ashamed of being a Jew. Yeah.
That's true.
Well, that's all in the past now.
Yeah, but you know what? I own my shame. Is that anti-Semitic music?
No, he leases it out. He's still got that much.
Did your dick get bigger when you became a
So
Catholic?
who's going to be number
I thought something
one?
would happen.
This is going to be
A
interesting.
genuine living showbiz legend.
Oh, my God.
And the creator of That Girl
Whoa.
and Kate and Alley.
Ouch.
5-time Emmy winner.
How?
And someone we consider now to be the 5th Beatle.
Yeah.
Bill Persky.
Yes.
Billy.
What shall I sing?
I thought that guy from, what's that guy who always talks for Yoko? What's that guy? What's Yoko's spokesman's name?
Yoko has a spokesman?
Oh, Elliot Mintz.
Elliot Mintz. I thought he was the fifth Beatle.
Elliot Mintz.
And a Renaissance man.
Yeah.
And our musician for the day.
Thank you.
And TV and musical icon.
Who came in?
Comedian, musician,
Thank you.
and band leader, and thankfully for my podcast, unemployed. After 33 years on the David Letterman Show, Paul Schaefer.
Thank you. Gilbert.
Now, you were writing you were kind of improvising a theme song about me.
Well, I was playing, yes. What was it
If you
again?
could- Yeah.
You swing. Well, someone said social media, and you're all over it. You're all about it.
Yes.
And Frank mentioned, do you already have this calls coming in on social media?
Yeah.
Is this true?
We try. Well, I solicited
and
questions
things?
for all of
I
you.
said you swing with the youth.
Can you play that?
Yeah. So it was Gilbert. I had a lyric going. Gilbert swings with the youth, though some would say he's uncouth. It's almost a limerick. Let's finish it as a limerick, shall we?
Yeah.
Gilbert swings with the youth,
With the Ute.
though some would say he's uncouth.
He's so dry he requires no vermouth.
He's so, and he's always in French vermouth, yeah.
Yeah.
He's da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da.
And cranky mother's ashamed to be a Jew.
And so they defeated Jews.
Nelson.
It's funny, that rhymes with everything, doesn't it?
He's embarrassed to be a
Just so we can put this, then we'll get on to the fun.
No.
I want to ask you what. That's the order that the introductions are definitely going to be read, or they may
Those
still
are the
be...
orders.
What was alphabetical, Craig?
That's the first.
All right, that's
Alphabetical.
fine. I'm not mad.
Okay,
We put it to a vote and decided you are our least important
Okay,
guest.
I've got
I
the...
got that.
You know what? That's a tribute to you.
I'm alone in my apartment, and I feel the same way. Go on.
No
I've
one
got the
mentioned.
theme. I have
Paul's
the theme.
got it.
I have it. Gilbert swings with the youth, though some say he's uncouth. That's all I have so far. That's all I have.
Great.
You know what that reminds me of?
Let's
What?
give a prize to someone who calls in with the rest of it. Paul, you wrote.
We're not live, are we?
I think you
It's
wrote
all right,
that.
we
for-
have no money. What
I
do-
wish we were
You
live.
wrote that for
Live.
Joey Reynolds originally.
Oh, if we were live.
Paul, you know, that sounded a little to me like...
Tens
familiar.
of thousands
Like My
of
Dad
people
by Paul
are we up
Peterson.
to right now at this point that are listening.
Craig, your mic's off.
We need a director.
No, it's on.
Now, can I start off with what I think is the most important topic of the day?
Yeah.
Now, if I think a lot of people listening, if you don't know, will have to look up on YouTube Clark Gable, preferably in Gone with the Wind, and Andy Devine.
Well,
And who was a fat, roly-poly,
they were.
cockeyed, weird-looking guy with a voice like that. And I could never do an Andy Devine.
He was Jingles. Remember
I
he was
heard-
Jingles? In the
Yes.
Yes,
and
of
did
course.
he have
and
Andy's
Andy's
Alley?
gang. Andy's gang.
He was
Yeah,
the-
Andy's gang.
Yeah.
That was
But-
before Fat Cowboys were
Yeah.
on TV.
But
But it was the
Drew-
original Brokeback Mountain. I've heard.
Yes, Drew Friedman.
Andy Devine and Clark Gable would go off on hunting,
Yeah.
hunting
how he
trips.
got his name. He was
and
so
stay in
divine.
He would leave, Carol Lombard, and they would stay in the cabin for days and, fuck each other. Basically. This is what I heard.
There's an
Now,
icebreaker.
I want all of you to YouTube both Clark Gable and Andy Devine to get the full feeling
Yeah.
of this.
So I'm
value.
going to draw it, actually.
Yeah.
That can't be
That's my
true.
next project.
Is that
And you
really
have
true?
some...
I think the rumor was spread by Marlon Brando and Wally Cox just
Yeah.
to deflate, the
Now,
attention.
I heard Clark Gable once said in an interview, getting fucked up the ass is divine.
Can
So
you
it was
do
a
Andy
signal.
Devine? Give it to me! Give it to me, Clark!
Your Gable sounds like
Oh.
Tear my
Dwight
leg.
Eisenhower.
Yes.
Now I heard Jay Silverheels.
Yes.
No.
Well, Paul has a good story about Jay Silverheels. Yeah.
Well,
the tomahawk.
story was
Paul
told-
Schaefer
yeah.
with
Jay
Silverheels
was
song.
Tonto for those who.
There you
They
go.
don't even know
Today's
who
his
Tonto
birthday,
is.
by the way.
Huh?
Today's Jay Silverheel's birthday.
It is.
You're
Yeah,
kidding.
I'm sorry I know
kidding.
that.
As a
him
matter of
something?
fact,
And we're
Paul,
working.
Yeah.
We're
Frank
working
is
on Jay.
And we're working, yeah.
can you play the Lone Rangers theme?
Well, of course I
Before
can.
I
But
start.
yeah, do you want that?
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's Bonanza.
That's Fandaza. Out of the West.
Nice.
When men were men.
It sounds
And
just
women
like
too
the
were men.
Casio that they
there it
use.
is.
All right.
Tell the story.
Let's have that. But you know,
Now, wait a second. Speaking of Brando, Drew, you have a Brando story.
Oh, Brandon. Well, this
I want to hear the Jay Silverheels.
okay, here's the thing.
Jay Silverheels.
This is a story. This is a
segues.
story which involves Brian Wilson, the great creative genius of the Beach Boys.
Okay.
And the writer of all of their hits, and
Right.
including the very far-thinking ahead Pet Sounds, which inspired the Beatles to do Sgt.
Do
Pepper.
a
He
little
was
something
ahead
from
of.
Pet Sounds.
and the
ahead
song,
of them.
the song Johnny
No,
Carson.
I got to get to the story.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's come back. He's made a big comeback, but he is tortured. It's no secret. He's so tortured that he speaks out of the side of his mouth, sort of like a Bill Murray character, and he's with his band. He's in Toronto, Canada, and he's in the wings. He's about to go on.
You ever hear this?
And he's just musing to himself, and he says, "Hey, Toronto. Hey, one time I was in an insane asylum, and Tonto came into my room with a heart on. I said, get out of here. And then the band goes on, and well, East Coast girls are hit by the same. What the hell did I just hear?
And
Is Jay Silverhill's living? by the
No,
way?
he's
No,
gone.
we lost Jay.
I lost Jay.
we lost Jay about 45 years ago.
Yeah.
We had to bring this down.
But, I looked it up.
Now Marlo.
I looked it up if... Oh, yeah, but I
Marlo.
gotta
He's got a
I gotta
Marlon
put
story.
button
I'm not
on
going to
the
talk about
Silverhill.
Marlo.
Drew
Marlo.
Friedman
Friedman
with
with a Marlo story.
Not Marlo.
My Marlon Brando encounter. And Kathy said that this is a very stupid story, but I said, Gilbert's going to like it, though. It's like a couple of years, it's brief. A couple of years ago, I was in Hollywood on Sunset, and I walked into the Haagen-Dazs store, and in front of me was a big fat guy ordering ice cream, and I realized it was Marlon Brando. He had sunglasses on, a hat, but I realized it was him. He was ordering a bag full of ice cream, quarts of ice cream, in one hand, and then the other hand, he had a cone with 4 scoops of ice cream. And he pays and he leaves, and I said, I got to follow him out. This is like, a golden opportunity. So I followed him out the door. He starts walking up Sunset, and I'm 10 feet behind him, and I'm just like listening to the traffic, and all I can hear is as he's eating the ice cream. That's my Marlon Brando story.
You heard a
Was
Marlon
he doing
Brando
it with his mouth or
fart.
his
Oh,
ears?
just it came out. I don't know where it was coming. That's all I could hear.
You only hear the bad things about Brando.
It's a golden memory.
But it's nice to hear, from the
good
heart
stuff,
a little
the
bit.
good
Yeah.
So Marlon Brando
Gilbert loves farting stories.
basically farted on you.
No,
You
I
were behind
stayed
him.
10 feet
Farted on
behind.
you?
Oh,
Now,
I was not his Wally Cox that day.
you're my Wally Cox every day.
Exactly.
now, Paul, can you write a Marlon Brando farting song?
Yeah. He farted on you. He farted on you. All right. The fart swam around.
Finally found a nose or two.
Yeah. A guy wouldn't admit he was a Jew.
But I don't understand. He got different cones, like, as though he was
Yeah,
vying for
one
different people.
cone
Like,
with
of
4.
course-
That was all for him, obviously.
Obviously,
One
but-
cone with 4
Different
giant
cones.
scoops, which he was eating. And then he had
cones
the
for
bag
different
when he got
folks.
home. He had the
Different cones
bag
for different
of all the
scoops.
rest.
It's amazing how he kept his figure.
Can I ask a question?
Yes. A
Did
follow-up.
he? How much of the quarts of ice cream did he eat on the way to the car?
No, he wasn't. He was taking those home.
Oh, he took them.
But he couldn't wait, so he was eating the ice cream on the
gotta
way
make a
home.
pig of
I see.
Billy,
But
did you
he
ever
didn't
work
get
with
in the
Brando?
car. He just
What?
walked up.
Did you meet Marlon
Billy
Brando?
No,
Persky?
I never met Marlon Brando. Actually, I missed him by a night in Tahiti.
Really?
Yeah, we were doing a pilot in Tahiti, and he had been at this place the night before, sitting in that chair. So I
Was
sat
it
in
an
that
ice
chair.
cream, ice cream
Huh?
place?
No,
Ice cream?
because he owned an island there,
Yeah.
Taiaroa or something.
Right.
Like that. He loved it there, but he was at this place where we were shooting the pilot, and they said, "You're sitting where Marlon Brando sat last night."
Wow.
What was the pilot?
It was called 3 for Tahiti, about 3 guys, American guys, who built a hotel in Tahiti in the 50s.
Wow.
3 for Tahiti.
His love nest with Wally Cox is on East 11th Street.
His love nest?
Right off University. I give a tour of New York.
Now,
and
this
that's on
is
the tour.
because The Godfather, Don Corleone, and Underdog were fucking each other in the ass.
Well, naturally.
Well, I just read a book about Wally Cox, seriously. And it was all about people talking about Wally Cox, that he was as straight as they came.
Yeah.
And that they would just like to hike together. So I don't know why you have to.
Absolutely.
We had Josh Mostel on the show, and he swears that Wally Cox was completely butch, was a macho guy.
Can you get him on the phone?
Yeah.
It reads on. It really
Macho,
reads on
macho.
film.
Now, how about George Maharis? He was.
Straight.
Oh, please.
He banged more chicks. They happened to be in a men's room in a bag.
They should do a
Perfecto
You know, he's still-
Tellys was the biggest cunt man in
Huge. I don't know how this urban legend got started.
He was right up there with Paul Lind.
Who was?
George Maharis.
Oh, George Maharis. of
And I know
course.
what you're thinking.
Oh, now, Bill,
Ah.
did you have any run-ins with George Maharis, the great
Only
Bill
through.
Persky?
No, he didn't make the
No,
jewelry. Who
the other
made
George.
the jewelry?
George
George
Chakiris.
Chakiris.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. The old problem.
not
George-
Confusion.
jeweler, the
The
actor,
confusion.
not the jeweler.
The dancer Oscar winner.
Yes, and he was a jewelry maker, and Tom has a piece of his jewelry.
I do.
It's
So
a
do
cock
you.
ring.
I do.
It's a
Well,
cock ring,
Tom
right? Yeah.
embarrassed me into. We had to ship by $750 worth of jewelry
500 each?
because
What are you
he's
talking about?
obsessed with George Maharis.
Yes.
And he
Who isn't?
And the name sounds a little like George Chakiris. George Chakiris was the actor and dancer
Right.
who was in West Side Story.
Common mistake.
Won an Oscar.
Yes.
Yeah. Won an Oscar for his role in West Side
But
Story.
both those guys are still alive, Perfecto Teles and
How do you
George.
know Perfecto
Can't you
Teles
get
is
them
alive?
for...
I thought he died.
I haven't read the obituary if he died.
Oh, my
I think
God.
perfecto.
I would love to get
I don't think they
We're
do.
getting
Right?
them
No.
both. Obituary.
Wow, imagine booking him.
That would be great.
Sarah?
That's your last show.
What was he known for? I only know him through you
Tom,
guys.
get him? You know
which is
him.
For
disturbing.
sucking George Maharis's dick.
I know.
No, it
standing
was
in
like
the back,
lodged
right?
in there, wasn't it?
You gotta get him.
but I don't know what he
If
did.
not on
His
the
dick
phone
was
now,
lodged
maybe we
in
can get
George
him on the phone
Maharis.
They had to
now.
call the police.
As Craig Craig Nelson.
Craig T.
Stop
Nelson.
calling him
Craig T. Nelson,
Craig T. Nelson.
from Coach.
As Craig Bierico.
You can say T. Nelson. That's my
just said,
nickname. I like it.
It's this thing that gay guys do, where one stands in a bag.
I don't need your life story. I'm asking you what Perfecto Teles did.
All right,
Because the only way I know him
He
is
sucked George
I know that
Maharis's
he
dick.
did that. I know that
Yeah.
he did that. I'm
Maybe
saying,
George Maharis.
What
sucked
else did he
his
do?
dick, too.
What else did he need to do?
I heard that.
did he have an act, or
I
was
heard
his
nothing.
act? I
That was the act.
I would pay
Tom
to
can-
see him suck
else was fresh?
George
There was some guy who
Maharis's dick.
wasn't in show business who was named Perfecto.
You know, let
Well-
me just say something about Gilbert. He's a glass half full kind of guy. Because only he would think that George Maharis wasn't in the
A bag half full.
He was. Why don't you think George Maharis was maybe in the bag?
You know what? That
Huh?
could be.
You're welcome.
So what you're saying, Tom, is that George Maharis may have been blowing Perfecto
Well, I mean,
Teles.
I'm just throwing it out there.
I heard that the police found George Maharis with his dick lodged into Perfecto Teles, and they had to arrest them both.
Okay.
That was in the newspaper
So
article.
Does
what-
that count as one
what
arrest?
we're
cleaned up in the
now
article.
is
No,
saying
it doesn't count as one arrest.
is that George Maharis was fucking Perfecto Teles.
Yes, this is
in
what
the
I've always.
ass.
This is what I've
radio.
always known
And
since.
when they were connected
since
like
I was a
that,
child.
the police could
called the letter
It was
H.
like Hands Across
they
America.
had to like, kind of.
They call the.
They bring in a specialist for that kind of to separate.
Fortunately, the cops had boiling water.
We've done 8 minutes so far in Perfecto.
And I still don't know what the fuck he
We got
does.
another 15.
All I know is he stood in the bag and
He was a
blew some guy, but I
celebrity
didn't know what he-
hairdresser.
Okay,
Craig.
he gets fucked up the
wasn't
ass
even
by
a
George
celebrity.
Maharis.
Oh, he was a hairdresser. He was just a hairdresser.
That's what he does.
Not
He
like
was
Sir
a
Monty Ross.
hairdresser.
Oh, no. Paul
Yeah,
knows so
but
much
could you
about
do
it.
that on America's Got
I'm
Talent?
Googling him because nobody's answering my question.
I never.
Howard Stern would probably love it.
No,
I never had my
Howard,
hair
Next
done
week,
by
you gotta
Perfecto
push
Teles.
harder.
What are you
Howard doesn't
talking
go there anymore.
Oh, you know what? Before I forget,
cleaned himself
Yeah.
up.
No.
We talked about this before and never had a musical instrument
Oh.
with us. When the first time I went on the David Letterman
Okay.
show, we had to decide on a song to play me out to.
Yes.
And my two biggest failures were Saturday Night Live and
The
Thick
Saturday
of
Night
the-
Live, the Gene Domanian year.
Yes,
Yes, the year.
And
You said
Thick
it's the
of the
years.
Night.
Thick of the Night.
Alan Thicke year.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
Joe
think you did worse stuff than
Piscopo
that.
year.
And so we
George.
decided to combine
Never
the
know
two. And can you? And I remember you.
I said I would play you out with both. Gilbert was going to do his first stand-up on Letterman, and I said, I'll play you out with those two flops, the theme from the two. Because only I would know them, but I do. I know the theme from Gene Domanian's year of SNL, and, of course, Thick of the Night, his theme, Running in the Thick of the Night. I said, I'll do a little one and into the other.
Go.
I said, but it would be too long. You know, you'll be out there already. He said, so I'll wait. Anyway, something like this.
So this is
This is it.
my.
Da-da-da-da. How's everybody feeling tonight? That's how it went. With no rehearsal.
And what was your opening joke then, Gilbert? Do you
Oh, I
remember?
don't remember.
You did the Ben Gazzara joke.
I did do
Yeah,
the Ben
saw it on
Gazzara
YouTube.
bit. And would you like to do a duet with me of singing the Thick of the Night theme?
Yay.
Yeah. Let me hear a little for a key.
Mama, don't leave the lane.
That's too little.
Yes.
He wrote it
Mama,
too.
don't leave the lane. I'm on the road tonight. Everyone needs a dream to hold on. I'm gonna make it on my own. Going in the thick of the night, under the city lights, running in the thick of the night.
Into the heat. Going to treat you right. Running into the thick of the night. Night.
Oh my God.
Beautiful.
Now, Gilbert, I got to talk to you about something, though. Once you bring up Thick of the Night, you were a cast member. It was a talk show with a rep company. You were a member of the rep company. Do you remember any of the other names?
Richard Belzer,
Was a rep company member, yes?
Charles Fleischer,
Oh,
yeah.
Charlie Fleischer, yes.
McManus, Mike McManus.
Okay, Shagets, one Shagets.
Something Grande, something.
What about a girl? Was there a girl?
Oh, there was a girl who was in that movie about the punk rocker who dies. Who was that big?
Oh,
Someone
that's a big...
smoke-
What?
Someone-
Chloe Webb.
Oh,
Right.
she played Nancy Spungen in
Yes.
Sid and
Wow.
Nancy.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
was
Chloe
in the
Webb.
rep company?
They were all in the rep company.
Chloe
rep
Webb.
company family.
And so it was a talk show / sketch comedy.
It was horrible.
Well, she had a character, the
it.
French supermodel.
Oh yes, Isabel Brandy. She
Just-
played a French supermodel.
Was her name. Just one, like the letter R spoken in
Just one
we get a
character?
French
She just played
supermodel.
one character?
Yeah, that was her big character.
Big character. But there was a period of time when you didn't appear on the show. Why? You had gone up into the rafters.
Yeah, they
was
wrote into
brilliant.
the show.
And you would not come down. Now, can you justify this?
Yeah, they wrote into the show.
Yeah, sure.
Because the show kept changing because it was bombing severely. Thick of the night. And then they decided, hey, Gilbert is this guy who lives in the catwalk. And that's what Alan
The catwalk,
Thicke
the catwalk.
The catwalk.
He lives in the catwalk.
Gilbert never comes down from the catwalk.
Never came down.
Was there an explanation
just
about why
fire
you
you.
didn't come down?
It's a little like Chris
And
Elliott
there was
under the
no
stairs. I was thinking.
explanation
Yeah,
on
on Letterman.
why before I was down there and why now
Yeah.
I only live in the catwalk.
Yeah. Timing was
I
off.
live down in the catwalk.
You know, that has haunted me a whole life. Can you tell me now? I have lost sleep trying to figure that out.
But what did you as an actor?
Well, just stay in this room.
When you
for
were
the
living
next
with
hour.
Alan Thicke's
I
wife,
just
did you
mean-
ask?
I kept saying.
On the reality show?
Yeah, when you were with his
Yes,
wife.
I was living with
When
his
you were having
wife.
sex with his wife, did you ask?
Yeah,
like,
I know
what,
I was
what
having
This
sex
is a wife
with
swap.
Alan Thicke.
Celebrity
Wife
wife
swap.
swap.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you come down on that show?
Was it? He went down on that.
Yeah.
You're incorrigible.
Well, I was in a scene in that. I and my whole
Yeah,
family.
we Belzer.
We
Yeah.
came over for
Party.
dinner with Mrs. Thick. So she likes to have dinner
lovely Mrs.
parties.
Thick.
What was her first name?
Very.
Yes. Oh, geez.
Tanya.
Tanya Thick. Yeah.
Gilbert had taken her to the Friar's Kitchen the night before for dinner.
Yeah. What a show. Yeah. Oh my goodness. So we're over there with Belzer and Gilbert, and we say they both work for Alan Thicke. Let's get him on the phone. And we get him on the phone with Tanya gets him on the phone. We sing Thick of the Night, and we really drive him into the ground and talk about what a flop that show was.
Oh, yes.
But we didn't really get much reaction from him. There was silence on the other end.
I know.
Yeah, but we were having the time of our lives, laughing, couldn't stop laughing, thinking into the shit, and we're wondering why he's not getting it. You know?
And when they aired the show,
Get him on the
they
phone.
cut out that.
Yeah, they didn't even use it. But
Call him
nonetheless,
right now and try again.
we had a lot of fun
You
doing
did speak
it.
to him on the phone on one episode.
We
of
had
the
him on.
show.
We had Alan
He was
Thicke on
very
the
funny
show.
about it.
Yeah, we had him on.
But the part where me, Paul, and Richard were singing that, they didn't leave that in.
I was gold.
Now, Bill.
What?
Yeah, Bill Persky.
Oh my God.
You.
5 Emmys.
You worked with Orson Welles.
Yes, I did.
Who just had a 100th birthday.
His 100th
Who just
birthday.
died.
Yeah.
Did you do the wine in a box stuff?
No, I didn't do that. I did the wine in the coffee mug where he got drunk during rehearsals, and everyone said, "Where's he getting the booze? All he drinks all day is coffee." It was the darkest burgundy in the world, and by 4 o'clock he was on the floor, and no one knew where it was coming.
Just Paul Masson? Because he was
He
showing.
wouldn't drink
No,
that.
no. It was. We were in London at the time. I don't think they allowed Paul Masson into the country, either the man or the wine.
He went there to do The Man Who Came to Dinner with him.
Yeah.
You
but
directed it.
No, Buzz Kulick
Buzz
directed
Kulick,
it, and
We'll
Buzz
we'll edit
Kulick.
that out.
Buzz Kulick,
No,
who
leave
was
it
a
in.
great director, decided he was going to be the person who controlled Orson Welles. Wherever Orson Welles is now, the guy in charge is not controlling Orson Welles. There was no such thing. And it all came to a head one night when Welles wanted to do a certain thing, and Buzz said, "No, we're not going to do that." And we're in with the crew and the voiceover of the director, and they went back and forth arguing, and finally Welles said to him, "Mr. Kulick, you are talking to the director of Citizen Kane." And over the PA comes, "A film I always thought was highly overrated."
Wow.
Oh, my
Kulick
goodness.
said that.
Love it.
Stunned.
Wow.
Now Wells said, "Well, Mr. Kulick, whatever you plan to do with your next shot, I suggest that you find someone to be in it." And he walked out. It was the last shot in the show. No one knew where he was. For hours we were looking. We're in golden time, all of this expense. He had called Prince Philip, and he was having dinner at the Southampton Yacht Club. We finally got him to come back, and he said, "I want an apology or I won't come back." So I was producing. My partner and I had written, and we were producing the show. And so I went to Buzz Kulick. I said, "You got to apologize to him." He said, "That overrated." I said, "You got it. We don't have the money to keep. We got to end the show." So he said, "All right, I'll apologize." So Wells came in, and Kulick said, "I apologize." He said, "Oh, no. Over the PA. Loud. Very loud."
Great.
So now we had to make that, and now Wells walked back on the set, and Kulick
What did he
said,
say? Did he
said, "I would
wasn't
just like
overrated.
to apologize to insulting Mr. Wells and bringing up the fact that Citizen Kane was highly overrated."
What did he do then?
It worked.
No one could hear him over Orson Welles' ice cream
Jesus.
farts.
And what happened?
No, the setup of my last moment with Orson Welles, we had become very close because somehow he really liked me a lot, and I was assigned to keep him from drinking. So I spent a lot of
Should
time
have kept him
with
from eating, too.
Yes,
That didn't work.
but we were shooting in Southampton in England. Fog, like famous for the fog. There was one street light in the middle of the parking lot of this thing. It was like a scene from The Third Man. I mean, you could hear the zither in the background. And when we're leaving, Wells' chauffeur, he had a limo and all, and Wells said, "I must pee." And yes, okay, you could, because it felt that was all it was missing. He couldn't find a bathroom. Now, there's a Roman wall that runs through Southampton from when the Romans were. It is revered. I mean, if you're driving down, when they laid out the city, if there was a wall in the way, you make a right turn, go around the wall, and go back to where you go. They loved it. And finally, we get outside. Wells said, "I must pee." And he said, "Perhaps here, sir," the chauffeur. So he said, goes over, there's the goddamn Roman wall. Wells gives me a hug with one arm and is unzipping with the other. And he said, "I love you, Billy, be well." And I walked into the fog with Niagara Falls hitting. It was the loudest thing,
wasn't overrated.
and it's going
Say that.
through the fog and the lights, and I'm walking into the night. It was amazing.
What did it sound like? Can you do it?
No,
Is it a
are
large
you kidding?
urethra?
It was literally like a herd of elephants peeing.
Now, Billy, we found a fan alerted us to a video that
Yes.
I circulated among the boys
Yes.
from a movie called Water.
Yes.
A British film.
I saw you guys sent it around.
We
today.
sent it around. We all decided you were holding out on us. And do you want to tell our listeners who you were co-starring in this particular scene
Well,
with?
Ringo Starr and George Harrison.
George
and,
Harris.
and No, George Maharis. George Maharis was fucking Orson Welles.
While he peed.
Well, he peed.
Yeah.
What?
And Eric Clapton. But the truth be known, they were not in
What was the movie?
The movie
it was called Water, a movie
Water.
that I had written this movie with Ian LaFrennay and Dick Clement. I don't know if you know them. They wrote the Irish rock band. What was it? It was a great movie.
Oh,
The Replacements?
No,
Commitments?
with a C.
Oh, the Commitments.
The Commitment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're really great writers, and it was about an island in the Caribbean. That was the worst island in the world. The wind blew in all directions at the same time, all 4 directions. You couldn't play cards in this island, and there was no beach. But somebody discovered that there was water on the island that was a great laxative. And suddenly,
Where are you on my podcast?
no, really. And suddenly, it starred Michael Caine, and
Billy
Valerie
Connolly and
Perrine,
Valerie
Billy
Perrine,
Connolly,
yeah.
and it was really a funny movie. But I was brought over to just have a bit part in it. I looked very young. It was a
you
long
didn't write
time
it?
ago. I wrote it. Yeah.
Wrote it and appeared as the TV director.
Appeared as a
and
director.
what kind of scene was that? Why was Clapton and those people there?
Because there was a time when the Islanders, the guy that Billy played was known in the script as the singing rebel. He refused to talk until the island was free. So every time he was there, he would sing calypso songs, drove everybody crazy. So then they went in front of the UN to make an appeal for the island. Meanwhile, it almost caused an atomic war because the French were trying to take it over to protect Perrier, and the Americans were going to do it to protect Poland Spring. It was a fun movie.
Oh, wow.
A fan named Jonathan Sloman, one of our listeners, sent it to me.
I know him.
You know Jonathan?
Yeah.
You do.
From Britain.
He's
From
a Brit.
London, yeah.
He's a Brit. And just the sight of you sitting there behind the control
With that
room.
hair.
Yeah, the hair.
You look great.
And introducing Ringo and George.
I have a question.
Yes.
So, do you ever write stuff that doesn't have a tropical island?
Yes, Journey to the North Pole. Did you see that?
Just check.
Now, Tommy Lee,
Ouch.
I understand you have a little story about Troy Donahue.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Put the kids to bed.
There are no segues, by the way.
Unless you've
Okay,
already
first-
had a bunch of Troy Donahue
No,
stories
no.
on your show.
No, not
Well, that
enough.
can never be enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There haven't been enough.
Well, it isn't really a story per se. Yeah.
Well, you can tell the.
And it certainly isn't a
I
funny
give you the
story.
option of telling the Troy Donahue or the Mario Alonso story.
Well, let me tell both. They're,
No,
they're
they
kind of
segue.
companion. They're kind of companion
Okay.
pieces.
Tom Leopold
Thank you.
with his
This is where I take 2 forgotten celebrities and put them together.
You could get whiplash doing this.
Nobody in this room forgot them.
Thank you. I mean, I'll never forget them. Anyway, I don't want to get all choked up here, but it wasn't anything. It never took place. But when I was on some show out in L.A., somebody came in and said that they had seen Troy Donahue homeless on the street.
Oh, I heard this.
Yes. And I immediately, because, when I was like a kid, Troy Donahue was the biggest star in the universe, Susan Plachette and all those terrible movies.
Biggest Tab Hunter, at least.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Bigger movie star than Ted. Well, I don't know. We'll talk about that. Let's get into that, the comparison.
Yeah.
So I thought, my God, and I was making money. And I thought, you know what? I bet I could hire Troy Donahue to get my laundry and shit. I really could. I could give him $1,000 a week cash. And I said, can you imagine calling? I swear to God, I really thought about this. I thought this is, and imagine calling Troy. Yeah, do me a favor. That end table they're putting the glass. Go down to La Brea and get that for me. Anyway, I never pursued it because I thought it might be sad.
Well,
Yeah, I heard Troy Donahue was living in people's homes.
Yeah, and he died in Central Park, I think.
He did?
Really?
Yeah.
no.
No?
No, that doesn't sound
it
right.
can't
Okay,
be.
Paul has a different...
It just can't be. No, it just can't be.
Doesn't sound right.
No.
But what
Okay.
about Mario Alonso?
He died in Central
He died, yes. Somebody died there.
No. Will somebody please die in Central Park? I'm going to look like an idiot.
Yeah, no, I heard Troy Donahue.
No, that was
Yeah.
Kent McCord.
People would go, hey, it's Troy Donahue.
Yeah.
Oh, you could stay here for the night.
Why is he covered in his own shit? That man was in Paris. That man was
Covered
in
in somebody
Paris.
else's shit for crying out loud. He's a movie star.
Yeah. I didn't think they had shit.
All right, I hate to drop dinners,
Yeah.
but
I know where we're going.
I had dinner with Troy Donahue and Suzanne Plachette.
What?
Yes.
Excellent.
Who was
In the park?
who was a friend of the night he died.
Right before he died.
He had food poisoning.
How'd you find him? Was he in the sheep meadow?
No, she was going out with Troy Donahue when I first got out to L.A.
Valerie Perrine?
No,
Oh.
Susie Plachette.
Oh, Susan
Yeah,
Plachette.
and
Thank you, Dara.
I have a feeling that they knew he was gay, but he was a big star,
wasn't
and she
gay,
was
was he?
just getting started. Who? Troy Donahue?
Yeah.
Was this in your
I would
autobiography?
hope so.
He was married a few times.
Oh, really?
Dara,
You know why it didn't work out?
Now,
He's gay.
so they
Maybe
were
I'm
together.
wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe it was Tab Hunter. They look so much
Look,
alike.
isn't it bad enough we say he lived in the park? Why do we have to say he's gay? Just,
Malign-
Dara just pointed out that he died in Santa Monica Hospital at the age of 65. Troy Donahue.
How do you
Thanks
feel?
a lot,
How do you
Derek.
feel?
With George Maharis
so
or
ruined
without
my
him?
whole joke.
How do you feel
He
now?
had his
65.
dick in Perfecto Telly's ass.
Well, what, Mario Lanza?
Is there a Mario Lanza
Oh,
story?
yeah. Oh,
okay.
yes.
This is a good one.
Can it top this last one? What did he paint? He painted your house, right?
This is a beautiful.
And laid carpeting. Yes,
Does
he was
anything in
famous
this
for that.
story that doesn't make me want to fucking blow my head off happen? One thing, is there a nice person who passes him?
This is a beautiful
No,
story.
This is a sweeter one.
Tell this story.
This
That's
is a
beautiful.
sweet
This
story.
is, you could cut this out if it's
This is a beauty.
too maudlin.
You'll like
but
it.
Mario, the true thing, I've read it in many books, Dory Sherry was the head of MGM after Louis B. Mayer.
Another person that everyone is running to Google.
Dory
Sherry.
Not in this room.
D-O-R-E.
They're
He
still
was on
looking
the
at
I
Troy
Love
Donahue.
Lucy. He was on the I Love Lucy.
That's right. Dory Sherry was on an I Love
Yes,
Lucy.
but not
The one with William Holden.
Not the
Dory
real
Sherry.
one.
When
That
there
was
was an actor
No,
playing.
the robot.
Right.
The robot.
Because
the
that
robot.
night, apparently,
Who
he was
played him,
with Tom.
Frank?
Don't know. But Craig is right. But it was not the real Dory Sherry. It was an actor
Was it
cast
the
to play Dory
real,
Sherry.
real William Holden on I Love Lucy?
Yes.
Yes.
Tommy, if you will.
Was it the real Lucy?
Was there a real Lucy?
Was it the real Fred?
I worked with Lucy, of course.
Well, you'll tell that.
That's here.
Which era Lucy?
The one where she sounded like Everett Dirksen.
Stone Pillow. Stone Pillow.
Another Google reference.
Gary!
Gilbert does a great Lucy, old Lucy.
Gilbert does old Lucy.
Go ahead.
Desi. Hey, I always liked those when
Eugene
she was
Paulette.
older, and like she and Bob Hope
Yeah, they
would we try to be hip.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, let's go to that costume party as hippies.
yeah.
Yeah, look at me, I'm a Beatle. I want to, yeah. I'm a Beatle. That's right. We're the Beatles.
He'd show up in the beaded vest with the long hair and the motorcycle into the party.
And they run into
yeah.
and they run into Jack Benny as a hippie.
I think people are dying to get back to the Dory Sherry.
Okay, back to Dory
Mario
Sherry.
Lanza.
Mario
Take a
Lanza.
number. Mario
it's
Lanza.
Legendary,
It's the same-
legendary singer
Jesus.
Mario
It's the same
Lanza.
story. It's the
He's
same
in the
All
story, but before I get to that, did I tell the story about?
I feel like a lifeguard in an insane asylum.
Did I tell the story last time I was on about where Lucy's on one of those, the last of the Lucy shows
You
with
did
Gail
not.
Gordon?
No, you did not
Oh.
tell us. Tell that one.
It was when our
Is
daughter
Mario Lanza in this?
No.
Jesus
Was
Christ.
perfect.
Mario Lanza will,
Was
Mario
this
Lanza will be our
Life with Lucy when she was like 9
that's
years
the last
old?
show.
Oh my God, that
Life with
was my
Lucy.
favorite.
Being held together
at that
by
point, yeah.
That was the funny one.
After
Yeah.
the Stone Pillow, where she played
She's
the whole
going,
movie.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
yes.
No, before the Stone
Before the
Pillow.
Stone Pillow.
Yeah.
Where
Frank-
she
was-
was a homeless
Was
woman.
Frank
Yeah.
Nelson? Was Frank Nelson also on that one?
No, Gail Gordon. Anyway,
Ah.
I'm up with our daughter back from the hospital. And she's up at 4. I'm walking her around. I got late at night. It's like here's Lucy or Here's Lucy this time. I don't know what they here's Lucy because the other one didn't work at all.
Lucy.
I think it was called Here's Lucy because the other one didn't work.
No, it was that one was called Here's Lucy, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
The last show was Life with Lucy.
Life with
Life
Lucy.
with Lucy.
The life left
That
with
was
Lucy.
the
Whatever
scary
life is
one.
left with Lucy.
Before Death with Lucy.
Right.
Yeah, that's when Lucy looked like she was going to be dead at
Yeah.
any
But
point.
she was still showing her legs.
Yeah. Oh, yes, yes.
Very disturbing.
Anyway.
Oh, well, yeah.
Anyway, so I'm watching it, and the whole plot of this episode of Lucy is Bob Crane is a guest star, Robert Crane from Hogan's Heroes.
Yeah,
oh,
Bob
my
Crane.
God.
Yeah. And the whole plot is he invites Lucy on a date, Bob Crane. and Lucy's problem now, I don't think Viv was even in it. At that
She gave up.
Viv was gone. Viv was gone.
She checked out. She moved back to New York.
She dragged around the court.
She was in a major
She had
depression. Anyway, so the whole plot is Lucy asking Mr. Mooney, her boss played by Gil Gordon, if she could get out of work early because I got a date with a boy. Bob Crane. I got a date with a boy. Bob Crane. Oh no, Mrs. McGillicuddy, you can't. That's a story.
That's a great story.
Mario Alonso, real
let's
quick.
hear the Mario Alonso.
Okay,
Real quick. Where are we going?
yeah.
Gil, do we have time for the Mario Alonso story?
Oh, yeah, I think we could squeeze it in there.
This is a great story. I
You
love
can
it.
tell this in real time. We have time for it in real time.
Yeah. Well,
Tom shared this
It's a
with me.
short story, but it has a big heart.
Touching.
I don't know what that means. Anyway, Dory Sherry took over from Louis B. Mayer, and he changed the whole studio around. And he was the one who hired Mario Lanza from the opera stage to come out and make those horrible movies. And you know the movies I'm talking about, like when his weight would fluctuate so much. Oh, Mario Lanza. He brought Mario Lanza. And his weight would fluctuate during the picture. He'd start out but he'd start out in one scene. He goes, well, I'm going to go in that other room now. I should be back. I'm going to sing Rigoletto. And he'd walk out of that room and walk into the other room. He'd be 48 pounds heavier. And then he'd go through another door. He was skinny again. And then he's like, anyway. So
Mario Lanza, the great Italian, singer for our listeners who don't know Mario Lanza.
Jeez.
if they don't know, anyway, so Dory Sherry and Mario Lanza got into a terrible feud about contracts or letting him out so he could do concerts. So Mario Lanza did the thing, the natural thing. He took a big, steaming, creamy dump on Dory Sherry's lawn.
Creamy.
And it made the papers. Did you ever hear that story?
No.
Oh, it's in so many books.
This shit made the papers.
The shit hit the papers.
The look on Billy Persky's face. Just
wrote the
asked him if he heard that
Now,
story.
I don't know if he negotiated another contract, if it worked. You know, if it was the shit was so he could get a better contract. I don't know if it worked.
No.
What an odd
It was
negotiation.
it was it's a beautiful Hollywood
And
story.
let me tell everyone who's on the show again. Hi, I'm Gilbert Gottfried. I'm here with Frank Santopadre. We're here with Craig Bierico.
Bottom of the barrel.
Drew Fried. Bottom of the barrel. Craig Bierico. Drew Friedman. Tom Leopold. Bill Persky.
I'm leaving after the
and
shit
Paul
story.
Schaefer.
We haven't
I
gotten to the
can't
main
handle
bit.
it.
What are we doing?
We're building up.
Is that the hour mark? Are we at the hour mark?
Well, the second hour is going to be all Danny Thomas, right?
Yeah. We talk about
Cut that
Bob
part out.
Crane.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go for
The film,
Bob
the
Crane.
filmmaker.
Yeah, what did he get
Now,
arrested?
there's a guy who
He
liked
was
to
killed.
masturbate
Yeah.
with friends. Right?
What?
He liked to masturbate with
Bob
friends.
Crane, star of Hogan's Heroes.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Did you write the Dick Van Dyke that he was on?
No,
Where
I did not.
that was
Carl.
early. I think that was
Yeah, it
early.
was
And
Carl.
Bob Crane was into having orgies and filming.
Well, videoing it. He had this huge video box that he carried from
like the theme
one
song.
motel room to motel room when he was doing summer stock, you know.
And they made a movie about it.
And that is the theme Paul's playing to Hogan's Heroes.
Wow.
What do we know about Bob
And-
Crane?
Oh, here. Now I think I know that theme.
Yeah.
I think it goes, it's an instrumental, but all instrumentals have words.
Okay.
And I think for the Hogan's Heroes, it's, we are all the manly men of war. We are marching in where hundreds have before. And then the middle part is, you make suggestions. Oh, you ask the questions, we'll make suggestions. We are the men of war.
You ask the questions.
We'll make suggestions.
What does that have to do with anything?
Right.
Well, but of all the
rhymes,
unnecessary
Craig. It
things
rhymes.
for a person to have in his head.
Oh, you have no idea, Bill.
I mean, why? Is there a way to get rid of that now? Can we suck from your soul?
That was produced by.
Jesus.
It should
Why
be some
did you
machine.
bother to learn that?
Gil, do you,
You
still
sang
do
that
Hogan's
song.
Heroes bit in your act?
Oh, yes. I always did, like who was the guy that came up with the idea for Hogan's Heroes?
Bing Crosby.
Yeah, that he went into a network and said, here's the idea. A group of soldiers in a Nazi prison camp. It's a comedy.
Bing Crosby. He hated Jews, didn't he?
Sal,
Yeah, Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby.
Bing Cosby.
Now, let's talk about all the people who hated the Jews.
yeah.
Aside from
You're-
everybody in this room.
Craig,
My mother.
My mother.
Me?
Tom Leopold
I heard.
hated the Jews.
I heard Wilford Brimley hated the Jews.
Yeah.
Oh, big
that
time.
wouldn't surprise
Big time.
me.
Big time.
Well, Craig worked with
He
Bill.
hated
Absolutely
himself.
hated him.
He hated himself.
Oh,
you know.
okay.
Can you confirm or
what?
deny, Craig?
I can't.
Okay.
He didn't speak to me.
Who?
Wilford Brimley.
He knew you were
Oh.
part
Okay,
Jewish.
Bill.
Yeah, that might have been it.
I heard he was the
Hated
biggest
Jews.
Jew hater of all.
I think he hated it because he was one, and he didn't want anyone to
that's a
find
reason.
out.
That's what they said about Hitler too.
Yeah. Well, they were cousins. Hitler and
Wilford Brimley
Wilford
and
Brimley.
Hitler.
Yes.
But Paul Lynde hated Jews more than anybody.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Paul Lynn, I heard
He blamed them.
that on Hollywood
Well, the
Squares.
Jews didn't make him gay.
Yeah, on Hollywood
Well, you don't know
Squares,
that.
one of the producers was the producer of the original Hollywood Squares, and he told me that during lunch, all the people on the show would get together, they'd be joking and having a great time, and Paul Lynde would be bombed out of his skull. And he was this, bitter old anti-Semitic queen.
Yes.
And he would be there going, oh, those fucking Jews. They're the reason I don't have a career. I wish Hitler killed all of them. And he'd be there like, oh, well, let's
That
Man.
story, you've told that story on every single
He sure
episode.
has.
And you know what? That story is
an
your Carol
evergreen.
Burnett lobe pull. That's your earlobe pull.
And rightly so.
Yeah, that's just
Rightly so.
Carol Burnett earlobe
Okay.
pull.
His story's an
Here's the
evergreen.
thing. I was talking to a group of young people. The fact that today there are really not stars. I mean, there are passing through. I said when I was growing up, everybody did impressions, and immediately you knew who the people were. I'll give you $1,000 to do an impression of Puffy Combs.
go.
You can't.
Right.
There's nothing there. There is nobody around today who is a star that you could build an act. There's no impression acts anymore. There's nothing
Well, that's
distinctive.
why there are
I'm
no-
sorry to bring this down.
no
I can talk more
I
about
mean,
the
on
shit
TV,
statue.
There was like
Oh, God.
Frank Gorshin, Rich Little, George
Guys
Gershwin.
made their whole
David,
careers
Will Jordan.
doing
Guys,
impressions.
what is his name?
Well,
Someone like
David
Don
Fry.
Knotts. You grew up. I grew up. I would watch Don Knotts. I totally took him for granted because he was just so
Great.
But then you try to do that. You try and do what he was doing, and you realize how far out on a limb he went.
Oh, boy, he
to
went.
do
Yes.
that character and how brilliant and how singular. And there's nobody like that at all.
I'm saying it's a comment in a strange way on
I
the
love-
fact that there are no really identifiable people who keep on being.
There are impressionists in Vegas now.
doing.
Guys that would get big money. I can't remember their names. There's two different
yeah,
guys.
there's
What do
that
they
guy.
do? Who do they
They're all
do?
the same. Well, that's the question. Who
Fred
do they-
Travolina is
No,
one.
no, there's a guy
Well, there
now.
was Danny
like-
Gans for
Danny
years.
Gans.
But he
No,
died.
he died of mysterious
He
circumstance.
died.
He did?
Yeah.
Derek,
I
you-
love that on the
I think he died in
mysterious.
Central.
Oh, excuse me.
Danny Gans died in Central.
The dick up his
He
ass.
too.
I used to love
Take
George.
that. You know, that could be your agent.
I don't know why that was important
No, it
to
is.
me,
It's
but it is.
important
It's
to point
like
out.
when you hear the stories and the the passion with which you guys all love these things. There's nobody does that anymore. You're going to get that way about girls. I mean, it's
Girls, the show.
So you
want to
girls,
the people.
Girls,
I mean,
I
it's
like-
fun.
You want to bring impressionism
But you mean there's
back.
no personality?
No, I'm just saying that
You just wanna bring it back.
there's no real identity in everybody.
You can't
It's
picture
all
like a Frank
bullshit.
Gorshin coming out and go, here, so let's imagine, here's Matthew Damon. Like, imagine, if you will, Matthew Damon in a hospital.
Yes.
And then anything he does would just be Matthew,
Right.
just
Now,
be a
Craig,
guy.
not
And
to
now
put
Kim
Freddie Prinze Jr.
Kardashian calling 911.
Yeah.
I used to love
Might go
Something like this. There's no show business heaven for
I
these
used to love when
people.
when George
Well, there
Kirby
is show business heaven.
George Kirby used to do
Because up there
imitations
is
of only
Jimmy
white
Cagney.
people.
No, I mean, but for these kids, there's no show
W.C.
business heaven.
Fields.
Now, do we all remember when George Kirby was arrested and locked
Yes,
up
of
for
course.
drugs?
Sure.
Yeah.
And then he
Heroin.
came back and did a dramatic
Yes.
thing.
King
called
Heroin.
Mr.
King
Heroin.
Heroin.
Yeah, King Heroin.
Heroin.
Yeah.
I am King Heroin.
Who did Sydney Greenstreet.
Yes.
Worst electric company.
Was he
ever.
only a public service thing?
Yeah, well, it was in his act.
He only imitated.
But
He
if
only
you-
imitated white guys.
Yeah,
Yeah, but if-
I'm King Heroin.
But if you remember, Gil, he did it because he was an impressionist. He did it as Sidney Greenstreet.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Which really threw me. Because he said he did it in prison. I guess it was to keep people from
He
banging
only
him in the
imitated
cheeks.
big fat white
Well,
guys.
it's like, did you see those movies, The Trip? You know,
Yeah, oh yeah.
I
Jack
mean,
Nicholson.
Roger
every
Corman, yeah.
line was an impression of somebody great. I mean, they never talked to each other as themselves.
Speaking of impressions, Craig, not to put you on the spot, but I understand you do a Johnny Carson
Oh.
little something.
hello,
I do Johnny
You
Carson.
do Johnny Carson in the third grade?
What are you doing? You're
What are you
top.
embarrassing?
Where'd you come up with that?
Thank
I
you,
understand.
Frank. You
I understand
That's a
you.
card.
You can perform
That's a
thoracic
card.
surgery. Why don't you take time? Here's a butter knife. Why don't you open Drew's stomach? And what are you talking about?
Come up with
He doesn't know what I'm talking about.
No,
This is
Where'd you
kind
get
of
that?
like on Jay Leno when he go.
no. It was a joke between. It was a joke
between you
Hank
and
Azaria and I
Ah.
used to joke because I couldn't imitate anybody I imitated sounded like Hank Azaria doing Johnny Carson. So Johnny
Okay.
he did a great Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
And I used to say when Johnny Carson retired, I didn't mean to look at you when I said Johnny Carson retired. I looked right at Paul.
I know, but
And I feel like I just
There's one little
You know.
single
so retired.
tear
You
in
had to
Paul's
go
eye.
there. You
no, I
had
didn't.
to.
Not at all. But
I was doing
I
so.
think you're holding up really well.
I was doing so well until now.
Yeah, well, I mean, normally you wouldn't be available.
You know,
That's
you know
right.
what Paul
Well,
said as we were coming down? Is everybody getting paid? You should take better care of your money, my
Paid
friend.
in pizza.
Well, we were just trying to imagine what is Johnny Carson going to do
You
now
and
that he's up
Azaria.
in Malibu and he's retired, and we just decided he's going to hang out with junior high school kids, and it was hey, did you guys take the? And I don't do a good Johnny.
Yeah, dude,
Carson.
that's good. That's good.
yeah,
That's
good.
good.
But that wasn't it. I have
yeah.
a sinus. No, he goes, hey, did you? How did you guys do on that algebra trig? Was that not impossible? And then the kids always went, shut up, Carson. Sorry, he was unpopular. Sorry, I understand. Everybody's going to the malt shoppy. Is that true? Carson, fuck off. Sorry. There you go. Thank you, Paul.
I saw
Save
Hank
me.
Azaria-
Play me out.
I saw Hank Azaria and excuse me but this is important. Hank Azaria and Harry Shearer
We'll
doing
decide
dueling,
if it's important.
doing dueling
Hold
Johnny
it.
Carson's. That was pretty
We're
good.
going to take a vote. Was that important?
No, sorry, Drew. Go ahead.
Paul, do you know the Johnny Carson song by Brian Wilson?
No, I do not, sir. I know
It's called.
that
It's actually a song called Johnny Carson when he
Yeah.
was really nuts in the late '70s. It's on one of the albums.
Yeah, I do know, but
15
I can't,
big ones. It's on 15 big
can't
ones.
summon it right now. 15 big
Oh,
ones.
sorry.
Now,
Tom, before we leave the topic of George Kirby,
Is it Watermelon Man? Is it Watermelon Man?
Oh, it's Godfrey Cambridge.
That was 15
Godfrey
minutes ago.
Cambridge.
didn't you used to wonder? Didn't you used to wonder if, when they had the big campaign about homelessness?
Oh yes. Well, we did it. It was just-
Comedy. What was it?
we did it. We did. Oh, maybe it was just a bit. I don't remember if we actually.
And
shot it.
everything was about homelessness and feed the homeless.
Right.
You thought perhaps George Kirby.
Well, no, I remember when Jerry on the telethon would have one time he had Jack Palance on in a black turtleneck sweater, and it was now he would Jerry go now a serious moment, and he's cut to Jack Palance at this big black turtleneck sweater going, I'm muscular dystrophy.
Oh, no.
And I hate children. Yeah, so we did a thing like where it was about homelessness was big. And
This was big that year.
So damn big.
back when it was
At
really
that
great,
time.
you know? And I always thought that somebody, we should get Jack Palance to do, I'm homelessness, and I hate homes.
Yes, I hate homes.
All right, that died. Okay.
That's the bit.
I heard
Thanks
a
for
story.
rocking me into that.
That's the bit. That's all right. No, I love the
yeah.
bit.
I heard a story that one time Bob Hope was on The Tonight Show, and during a commercial break, Carson said, I read about you, Bob, and I heard you were born in England. Your parents died when you were a child.
You program women as sex robots.
Yes, and your older brothers got sick and died, and you were living in a rat-infested abandoned building, and you watch your brother die in front of you, and you had nothing. You were 3 when this was going, and Bob Hope went, yeah, that's wild, isn't it?
We were so
Talking about lead-ins, I spoke at a women's group
Dory
of
Sherry.
the Temple Emmanuel last week. I was invited for their year-end thing. And the thing, I walked in, and really it was like, this is terrible to say, but it's like I was there the day after they liberated Auschwitz to tell everybody how they were going to be treated. I mean,
Yeah,
it was the worst face. I mean, it was just, and I'm now going to be the entertainment. And they finally, after a meeting, an election of officers, it's now like 3:00 in the afternoon, and they say, and our guest speaker today is Bill Persky. But first, let's rise for a moment for those of our sisters who are not with us any longer. That's the intro.
That's your- yeah. Wow.
That's almost as good as the priest who introduced you, the
Yeah.
Monsignor, when
Monsignor,
you
yeah.
did
Yeah.
you did your show down in.
right, exactly. But it's
May I
Paul
lead
has a
into
story.
my story about that? When I was a child,
My
I was a
favorite
child of
story.
about 12. 12 years old, up in my hometown, Thunder Bay, Ontario, Canada. Not much entertainment up there, a town of 100,000. Not a bad size, but totally isolated and freezing cold on the North Shore Lake Superior. But one year there was an Israeli bond drive. Actually, every year there was, And the bond drive was a rabbi and a celebrity going all across Canada selling Israeli bonds, having evenings at the shul
Yes.
where the bonds would be sold. People would pledge right there after the entertainment. Well, this year, and I'm 12 years old, the entertainment is Ricky Lane and Velvel.
Oh, lucky you.
Velvet.
And this is for those readers, listeners, it's a Catskills act from back in the day, the 60s, a ventriloquist act. Velvel is a dummy, a Yiddish dummy with a Yiddish accent.
I forgot he had a Yiddish accent.
Somehow, Sullivan loved this act.
Yeah.
I guess he thought that it appealed to the Jewish audience. It would bring in the Jewish audience for him. And they were on so many times that they were huge.
Yeah.
So huge that when it was announced that the Israeli bond drive in the evening in June, I think, was going to include Ricky Lane and Velvel,
Oh.
it had to be opened up to the Goyim as well. It wasn't going to be just because act was on the Sullivan Show. And they were coming to Thunder Bay, Ontario. The mayor was going to come, and all dignitary, city dignitary, everybody was going to show up. Ricky Lane and Velvet was a huge sellout. Now, it's an Orthodox synagogue. Now, this means there are very strict rules for having an evening like this. The food has to be completely kosher. And in the case of this, it's got to be brought in from Winnipeg, Manitoba, because there's no kosher butchers or anything in this town. So it's all kosher. And my parents, God love them, they're no longer with us. And this is, I thank them every day for encouraging me to live my life. And it's turned out so well and everything. They had assimilated quite well. I don't know why there were any Jews up there in Thunder Bay, but my parents' second generation or something, already very goyish in their ways and very well dressed and cosmopolitan. And now their Goyish friends are going to be coming to the shul to see Ricky Lane and Velvel, and it's going to be kosher and whatever it is with the dishes and everything. And they're starting to worry. And I'm 12 years old, getting all of this. They're worrying about, it can be embarrassing a little bit for the Goyim to come to see Ricky Lane and Velvel. And, it's got to be kosher. And everything is, I'm aware of this exquisite tension. And we go to see the show. Now, there's a dinner first. It's all kosher. And the mayor, I think, makes a speech and welcomes Ricky Lane and Velvel. And, of course, the rabbi from wherever. And he gets up to speak first. The rabbi speaks about Israel and how it's been a tough year and you really need it. And as Jews, you've got to reach deep into your pockets. And he's got a heavy, heavy Yiddish accent. And buy Israeli bonds. What do I see? Who do I see? And I don't know. Maybe it was a tough year in Thunder Bay for the Jews, but nobody raised their hands. Well, this rabbi goes into a rant. A tantrum, and it's half Yiddish and half English, and my parents' heads just drop like this because it's the funniest thing and the most embarrassing thing. And you people, and you should rot and the learn. And now, Ricky Lane and Velvel. Well, I can't tell you. I remember so clearly the image of Ricky Lane down on the ground with the dummy, sticking his hand in the dummy and getting ready. And he's saying, wow, Rabbi, that's like, wow. I don't know. Trying to do comedy, comedy after that, Rabbi. wow. And he says, but don't worry, I'm sure that we'll talk to the people after, Rabbi, and we'll make sure that there's a better outcome for you. And then he just goes into his act. Wow. And it's just one of those life-changing things.
But how did he act? How did he fare? Like, how did he do? Did he win them back?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, the people were dying to see him.
Well,
because he'd been on Sullivan.
So, that was...
What was that?
Velvel was Jewish, so...
Velvel was Jewish, exactly.
Knucklehead hated Jews,
everything
which is
was
ironic.
kosher.
Yeah.
Jolson would have left the building.
Didn't need a mic or a Jew.
No.
He didn't need it.
Didn't need a mic.
I thought of some other Jew haters from Hollywood.
Let's talk about the Jew haters.
Yeah.
All right. Well, of course, Ward Bond.
Ward Bond.
He was the best Jew hater there.
He hated
in Hollywood.
Jews and Chinese waiters. Hated.
What did he do on Sunday night?
He would garrote. And Robert Mitchum, sadly.
I don't believe it.
There's an Esquire interview with him where he's just ranting about the Jews.
That seems to make sense.
He's our man.
I'm sorry to say.
You're talking to Robert Mitchum.
Sometimes it hurts. You heard that.
I heard Robert Mitchum said in some interview about something about the Holocaust that it killed 6 million
He goes
Jews.
alleged.
And he goes allegedly.
Right.
Ah.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
There's that. So what do you think of him now? We still love him, but
Heaven knows Mr. Allison my ass.
Yeah,
I
really.
mean,
What I love about
Jesus.
Paul's story is that the Jews were embarrassed that the Goyim would see
What
the
they were
rabbi
like.
going clown.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like they hadn't seen Jews before in the town.
Well, it was, we don't want Jews to appear.
Paul is
Also, what
such
if
a
they
great
think every-
musician. He doesn't have to be this good at all this other
He's
stuff,
good at everything,
too.
this guy.
Really? I mean, you are a great storyteller.
Oh, that's so nice. Well, that's one of my best stories.
Oh, God.
And it left an indelible mark.
Yes.
And then there was a little moment where he was signing autographs, and I was lined up with my little thing and gave it to him. He didn't speak at all. He widened his eyes as he looked at me. And it just freaked me out, and I left without speaking at all. That was Ricky Lane and Velvel, yeah.
do you have a Velvel doll?
No.
Did they make dolls out of it?
I think
wish
they
it was
did
a
Velvet.
I think there was
Tom
a
Leopold
Velvet
gave
doll.
me his Lester doll last year.
Yeah.
It was like
I
one
think
of the
there was
most
a Velvet
touching
doll.
things.
Yeah, I've told
I
the
almost
story somewhere, and Ricky Lane's daughter contacted me. And
I
I
told
got
you
very,
to stop telling it, or
No, just
That's
She
sweet.
appreciated it. She
That's
loved
sweet.
it.
Do you think she owns the doll?
She has, somewhere
Oh, I
in
like
that
that.
family is
'Cause
the
I kinda
doll.
run
And I did my best trying to, ingratiate myself to her brief, for that brief period of time and become friends. And what about the doll? Is there another Velvel? Is there a spare Velvel or anything?
An emergency Velvet.
I'm building up a Jewish comedy museum, a Jewseum, And I would love to have that velvet.
Now, who had Farfel the dog? Was that him too?
No.
That was Soupy, wasn't it?
That was
No.
David.
Danny O'Day?
Danny O'Day.
Danny O'Day and
Danny
Farfel.
O'Day and
And
Farfel.
Farfel, the
Farfel.
dog
Yeah.
puppet.
Yeah.
For Nestle.
Weren't they the ones that also did?
N-E-S-T-L-E-S.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Farfel.
Yeah, Dad's Farfel.
But Farfel's also
I only
a
know that from a Drew
chocolate.
Friedman book.
And then his
No, Farfel's a
I
Jewish
have a
food.
Craig
Yeah.
Bierko, guest
Yeah.
number 8 on
Yeah.
the call board. I have a question that's Jew-related and story-related. and I wanted to...
Not an easy
And I've always
combination.
wondered this. It's a legendary story. Maybe you're aware of it. Maybe you're not. It's an SNL legend story. A big Michael O'Donoghue fan and all the lore. And there was a story of a sketch that he always wanted to get from the very beginning on the air. Do you know which one I'm talking
the
about?
Nazi sketch.
Yeah.
I was in it. He got it on the air.
You
and
were
I-
in it?
And I was in it playing the piano.
Oh,
We went
please.
out with, a big Tomorrow Belongs to Me or something. And it ended with just like the scene in Cabaret.
Was this the two guys on the bench? Wasn't there one?
Well, I can't remember the what was in the story, but it was just a little slice of Nazi life. in a bar
Yeah.
and everyone. It ends with a sing song. I don't know. Maybe there was some spy activity. He was very concerned with all the details, getting the costumes exactly right, the uniforms exactly right, and the way they held the cigarettes and everything. And he
was very
in-
obsessed with
I think he was
every
in it
detail of
too.
this thing.
Wasn't there a Fred Silverman's bunker sketch?
Oh, and he
Famous-
did that at the end.
yeah.
Yes.
The
O'Donoghue.
sketch that I heard about was there were two old men on a bench,
Yeah.
and one looks up, and the other looks up, and he's got the calico hair over, and he's got the little Nazi Hitler mustache, a gray mustache. And the Jewish, because he's obviously a Jewish guy, looks over at him and goes, Are you? And he goes, yeah, that's me. This isn't ringing any bells.
Nah, no.
I feel
Maybe you
funny
dreamed
telling it. Huh? Maybe I'm dreaming it. Maybe I dreamt it.
Hey, can we? I've heard this story a million variations. Has nothing to do with the Jews.
Oh.
But it is one of these great stories of. You may have heard it, Paul.
Yeah.
Whitney Houston, Jodie Foster.
Did you just start talking in the middle of my story?
Yeah. Yes. Fuck you. I told
I'm guest number fucking 8. Is that what happens?
Come on,
Finish your
fellas.
story.
Come on now.
I don't
down.
want to finish the fucking. I'll finish it.
Finish the
I'll
story.
finish it on somebody else's podcast.
Yeah.
Was there a story?
There was one.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Was there a story?
What kind of ass burger? What the fuck was that? I literally was in the middle. I was like, I wasn't even in the middle of a sentence. I was in the middle of a word. I was like, and you're like,
Great.
I have a. Didn't Dorian? Are you kidding? Are you kidding?
Whitney
Wait,
Houston.
you had a story?
It's Greg.
Yeah.
By the way, my name is Greg.
Okay.
No.
Craig T. Nelson.
No, that was Craig D. Nelson. No. So the one guy's obviously Hitler, and the other guy's a Jew, and whatever you would want a Jew to say to Hitler, he says so beautifully. He goes, "How could you possibly justify all the horror?" And he says, and he goes on this 10-minute speech, and then Hitler leans over and whispers into his ear, and the Jew goes, "My mistake. I apologize."
Oh my goodness.
Listen, I didn't think of it. I didn't even think of that. And that was the sketch.
No.
And maybe because it played pretty much like it just played in this room.
Yeah, I certainly don't remember.
But it also,
This
I
is
also,
why I didn't want you to
no
end the
one,
story.
no
He's
one
trying to
could,
save
no
you,
one
man.
could play a joke through a backdraft like you just
All
created.
right. Roll
That
your
was
head.
like
Man
in
drove
the
a
middle.
nuclear submarine into my delivery.
Had I not interrupted, that would have killed
No, that's like the night that it was on. They interrupted in the middle to announce that 47,000 people were killed in a war, and then they came back to the. That's what you just put up with.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why he flunked out of host school.
By the way,
Host school.
interesting,
Host
interesting
school.
Hitler
Yes.
fact.
Host school, I love it.
He just flunked right the hell out of
What's the
host
Hitler
well,
fact, Tommy?
Interesting Hitler fact. Do you know why Hitler didn't drink?
Yeah.
Why?
Why?
Mean drunk. Mean as shit. Like two personalities, you know? Two fucking
Mean drunk. He was a mean drunk.
couldn't handle it. Couldn't
handle the
just didn't handle
All
it.
right,
did.
Jodie Foster is circling.
Well, wait. I heard that on the History Channel,
Oh, well.
they said that Hitler, his personal physician, used to give him 3 pills a day, one after each meal, to control his flatulence. This is what they said on the History Channel.
He was worried about grossing people out.
He
was worried about killing all the
Hitler's
Jews.
farts. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't want to be improper.
I don't want to.
By the way, kill another 80 fucking million.
I don't want.
So, yes, this story about Jodie Foster, Whitney Houston, and I always forget her name, the one from the Amish people. And
Kelly McGillis.
Kelly McGillis.
Oh, gee.
That,
Oh, my
according to
God.
the story.
I know where this is going. and
Okay,
it's-
Bill.
I can feel
What does
it.
it say,
Tell us.
Kelly
I don't even know where
McGillis?
it's going.
I
He doesn't even know
heard
where
it
it's going.
like a million variations.
I'm sure
But
there
that-
were a million variations.
But that Kelly McGillis was going out with Whitney Houston. And then Kelly McGillis had an affair with Jodie Foster. And then Whitney Houston beat up Kelly McGillis. And she was there with
I remember reading about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Where,
go ahead.
where in
Please.
God's name would you read about that? I'm serious.
Variety.
In a stall in a men's room? I mean,
Red Book.
Well, there too.
I got to say, this is one hell of an interesting erection I've got. I don't know what to do with this. I don't know how to express this.
What made you hard? The fact that she beat them, or they were lesbians?
I think it might have been when Gilbert interrupted me.
Interesting.
Is when it started. There was a tingle.
I'm sorry he let you go back to the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually asked Tom Leopold a question the other day. I can bring it up again.
Okay.
It was about Ernest Borgnine and Ethel Merman when they were married.
there goes the hard on.
Sorry, Craig. But
Like a lender's bagel.
I emailed Tom. I think you were on jury duty during it, but I emailed you. I said, "Do you think Ernest Borgnine ate Ethel Merman?" And what was your response?
With a Bordeaux.
Yeah. I forget, what did I say?
Fine Bordeaux.
Something about back hair.
Fine,
Back
Bordeaux.
hair.
Oh. That's the only way she could stand his back hair? I don't know.
You know, at the Writers Guild dinner, which used to be a big thing in L.A., they would do this thing with film clips, and there was this thing of dwarfs wrestling, and they'd always do a story meeting at the William Morris Agency, and then there was another thing that they had of 2 trains just barreling in and up in the air, and they used that. They said, and the big romantic news of the year is Ethel Merman and Ernest Borgnine married. Damn crazy.
Well, you know, they always said, why, you know, they asked Ethel why she, divorced Ernie.
Ernie?
She goes, well, how'd you like to hear, why Ernie divorced her? He goes, well, how'd you like to hear, hey, Ernie, every morning?
Oh, my God.
It's probably apocryphal.
And it was just an echo.
I heard that the screaming on their wedding night, you could hear it miles away. Like Stuart
Boys, people in the hotel.
Stuart Whitman was in Bel Air, over a mile away. He says he could hear the screaming, like Banshee screams that night.
They
He
say,
never got over it.
Yeah. And they say that the sweat the two raised can still be seen floating over.
They had to build a viaduct. They had to build.
Lake in Vegas.
When I asked you about Ernie eating Ethel, you said, well, he had more hair between his teeth than he had on his back then.
Oh, yes.
Tommy, do you have a story about?
Thank you. I like it. I
something
liked
like-
it.
Do you have a
Something
story
like that.
about Joyce Brothers' husband?
Oh, big story. Well, Paul knows this story.
Whose husband?
Dr. Joyce
Dr.
Brothers?
Joyce Brothers
No,
was
I know.
also a doctor.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Joyce Brothers.
By the way, would this be a good name for a black soul, an old soul black blues musician?
African American.
Yeah. Washington, Dr. Joyce Brothers Jefferson. No, I guess not. Okay. What was the question?
Joy. Something about you and Harry in Club Paradise?
Well, Harry Shearer and I were sent down by a studio to write the movie Club Paradise. Of course, the movie was completely rewritten after we got back, but we spent a week in Haiti, me and Harry Shearer. Harry, of course, Paul knows, he comes with huge metal boxes. I said, what's that? He goes, my espresso machine. So he brings, I don't know, that's apropos of nothing. I just wanted to paint a picture for you guys. Anyway, we get down there, and the whole time, nobody wants to get near us, And by the end of it, everyone's sitting with us, and we're stickling. But anyway, on the plane back, we both got just a projectile diarrhea.
Shit.
Yeah.
Bring it full circle.
Back to the theme.
So,
Back to the theme.
Wait a minute, I need to picture that.
That kind of
It
stuff.
had nowhere to go.
Yeah, well,
They
no,
had
it
one
goes.
hit.
No, you'll love it. It has a cute button at the end.
No, I didn't mean the story. I meant where does it go?
Then I don't know.
There's
You mean the
nowhere
story.
for it to go. Ah,
So,
I don't know if there's a cute button at the end.
yeah.
I got to draw that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that'd be good. Yeah. My doctor says, Harry was from L.A., so my doctor says, you got to go get your stool tested. Harry Shearer and I have to, and it turns out the stool doctor was Dr. Joyce Brothers' husband.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He specialized in shit. I don't know what did you take that in school or something? What are you in for? Cardiac
So did
surgery.
she, yeah.
That was his obsession.
I'd like to, I really want to get down to the bottom of shit. Try to cure shit or something. I don't know what he wants. Anyway,
shit.
yeah. So we go there.
Was that like a proctologist or something different?
No, the weird thing was, it was an office, a doctor's office,
a
unlike
shit
anything
lab.
I'd ever seen.
Shit lab.
It was a shit lab. Schlip lab terrier. No, it was a shit lab. And there were all these doors.
Stalls.
Like stalls, but doors
Stools.
like phone booths with doors on them.
Yeah.
That they give you like a huge Slurpee cup, like the big gulp, You take it, and they give you something to make. Meanwhile, they give everybody, this place was packed. Everybody was there to take a shit. And they give you this stuff to drink. They give you this stuff to drink, and everybody's just waiting, like down on starting blocks, to go into the individual toilets. And I don't have an ending, but with a story like that, do I
you
really
don't need an ending.
No, well, now I'm just going to live the rest of my life in the middle of that story.
One of the podcasts would feature a story like that.
I have a Damon Wilson story.
Hey, he's got a Damon Wilson.
Celebrities who carried guns.
Okay.
Well, not even that one. I mean, I directed a pilot with Damon. Damon Wilson was
Lamont. Sanford.
No wonder he shot me.
And in The Odd Couple.
Right.
And-
Lamont.
Right.
And
the
the
Black Odd Couple.
Anyway, I directed this pilot, and the producer, Lila Garrett, he carried a gun. It was, and she said, I understand that Lamont is carrying a gun on the set. He's got a gun with him. I said, yeah. She said, well, tell him not to do that. I said, no. The producer tells him not to do it. The director tells him how to hold it. But he was the worst guy in the world, the luckiest human being ever. And they were doing a Dean Martin roast in Vegas. And there was a great old comedy writer, legend, Harry Crane.
Harry
Crane, the best. I mean, the worst human being on earth.
Melissa Gilbert's
grandfather.
His
Yeah.
grandpa.
What?
It was Melissa Gilbert's grandfather.
Oh, yeah. I thought you said it was Gilbert. I would have told us anyway. Anyway,
Who was your grandfather?
he was really funny. And now they have all these stars there, Sinatra and Bing Crosby and Bob Hope and
Perfecto
everything.
to
And
it.
Lamont Wilson comes down. They pick everybody up at the airport with limos and thing, and they all have suites. And Lamont is the only one complains. My room isn't good enough. My this isn't that. I want chips. I want
Bigger
this.
gun.
He drove everybody crazy. And Harry said to him, "You're a big star, huh?" He said, "You bet your ass I am." He says, "Do you have pictures of you with a lot of famous people?" "I bet you do." He said, "With everybody." He said, "Good, hold on to them and you can hang them on the wall of your car wash."
Great.
And now I had heard that Damon Wilson became a preacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the story.
He was like a Reverend Ike type, briefly. And they gave it up.
I got a couple of questions here, Gil,
Oh, okay.
through social media from our listeners that I want to ask the boys if we have a.
As Gilbert swings with the
As Gilbert swings.
social
media.
Paul, here's one for you.
He's uncouth.
Here's one for you, Paul. This is from Rob
How
Smentek.
do they know he's going to be on?
I told him. He wants to know hip hugger or green onions.
Oh, well, Green Onions.
Green Onions.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
That was the one that broke Booker T and the MGs, and it's a magical little etude almost of R&B. That was absolutely magic, and Hip Hugger is great too, but just a follow-up.
What is Hip Hugger? What was that? I don't remember that.
Here's Hip Hugger. Well, here's Green Onions.
Oh yeah, of course. Every band in high school played that. Dory Sherry. Took a big steam in.
My head was story.
And then the other one is this.
Ice skating.
Put your hip huggers on. Right, that's it. I remember that.
Yep.
Paul,
Put your hip huggers on.
just a
That's the melody.
little patience and prudence.
Put your hip huggers on and you
was that?
baby let it on. Right.
A
Something
little
like that.
patience and prudence. Gonna get along with that.
Yeah, I didn't go over the last time.
Well, you-
get who are gonna get along without
Thank you.
now.
Thank you.
That's
Remember
great.
that one?
That's a good song.
My honey, gonna get along without you now.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Nice,
Yeah.
Paul.
That's one of my wife's favorite songs. So
Kathy Bidas.
Kathy is here
Exactly.
with us. Here's one for you, Tommy. This is from... Wait a minute, I lost it. This is from William Bozarth.
William Bozarth.
Yes, he loves J. Edgar the musical, which you wrote with Harry. Any plans
wait,
to revive
William
it?
Bozarth, the Jew hater.
William Bozarth, the Jew hater.
Oh,
Yes.
all right.
Do you
I
have
saw him at the meetings.
any plans to revive J. Edgar the musical?
Well, thank you. What's his name, William?
William.
Hey, William. Thanks. Anyway,
Sounds very.
no, really. I do appreciate. What? Okay. Anyway, Harry Shearer and I wrote a musical, a Fantasia on the life of J. Edgar Hoover called J. Edgar ! And we had songs in there like Once Upon a Face, which he sings to Clyde Tolson, who he meets in the men's room of the Stork Club. He sings
Was he in
Once
a
Upon
bag?
a Face. It wasn't. This was before bags.
Oh, okay. Pre-bag.
Yeah, they used carpet bags in those days. Anyway, 2 eyes, 2 ears, one a nose, 2 lips, something. Anyway, once upon a face. Anyway, so we did it as a radio thing on NPR in this big banquet room in a hotel just after the earthquakes, and so during the show was earthquake, and then we did it in the Aspen Comedy Festival, and then we kept thinking, we wanted to get J. Edgar mounted, which he had been in life so often, and
John Goodman and Kelsey Grammer, right?
John Goodman,
When you
Kelsey
two-
Grammer, Chris Guest. You weren't in it, Paul, for some reason.
I couldn't make it.
Oh yeah, you were invited.
You must have lost my invitation.
Yeah, that's what we did.
I wasn't. Okay,
And
good.
anyway, it was a show, but it didn't. I'd love to get it. We tried to get it on the stage a lot, London and in here, and it wasn't a movie first, I guess.
You need a producer.
Yeah, are you a producer, William?
Yeah, maybe he's.
Is he a
I don't
producer?
think he is. We'll check. This one is for Bierko from the lovely
Put
Quinn.
your own money into it.
I'm not. That's
Put your
It's a
own
great
money
read.
into
I
it.
have-
That's the
should
whole.
I really?
I have the script. It's a great read.
Yeah.
Paul, this one's for you, Craig, from Quinn Sutherland. How often did your makeup become dislodged during fight scenes in Cinderella Man, and did you wear a prosthetic nose?
I did wear a tiny little piece of a prosthetic nose that they built. It took an hour to put on, and they couldn't find it. That's how thin and small it was, and I don't even know that it read on film.
It made you look more Jewish.
It made me look more Jewish, I suppose.
And they also painted
Which your
down.
mother hated, I understand.
Yeah.
Oh, God, well, she just thinks they're a bunch of... That's Bishop Sheen. She was born a Jew. But Bishop Sheen did a gree thing on her, and she's like,
Oh my God.
a bunch of lizards. You see, it's like you put those glasses on from that
yeah.
movie. You're like,
You were
"She's a
scary.
bunch
You
of
were scary in that
thing.
film.
And what was the other question? Did my makeup come off?
Did your makeup come off during the fight scenes? Was it dislodged?
I don't remember wearing makeup.
You were
during
great
the
in
fights.
that.
Well, thank
Really.
you very much.
He
man.
was
Yes,
truly
he was
good.
great in
That
that
was
film.
before I knew him, and I said, that is a hell of an actor.
Yeah, you want to know a true story? Is I had been
What, everything else has been lies here?
So everything
As opposed to the rest.
Jesus.
What's kind of hostility?
Well,
is that?
I mean, you just made everybody full of shit here. And
Warren, did you get fucked in that you have to come to?
I'm
after
telling
me,
you.
like no.
Wait a minute. He's a legend. Don't
I'm on another call. I'm not talking to Bill. I'm talking to my agent. What was I? I don't remember. I was talking about.
True
Was it-
story.
about
story.
True
Cinderella
story
Man.
about what?
This one's
Cinderella
true.
Man.
About what?
Cinderella Man.
I don't remember. What
true
the story
story.
was.
All right.
It was a true story.
Tom, you had
What the hell is that?
you had a follow-up to Cinderella Man, Tom, didn't you?
Yeah.
I did?
Cinderella Man?
Oh, I used to live
Cinderella?
across from a Cinderella.
Oh no, that's a different,
Man.
different movie.
There
A different
was
movie.
guy
Same
that
cast.
butcher there. I called him the Cinderella Man.
Took place on 11th Street, right?
Yeah.
Here's one for Gilbert from Maurice Burstinsky. Can Gilbert please sing "Hooray for Captain Spaulding"?
Oh yeah.
You have a little accompaniment.
Okay. Oh. Well, that's the other people saying that. You know, hooray for Captain Spaulding, the African explorer. Did someone call me Snorer? Hooray, hooray, hooray. And there was another
tattooed
one.
lady.
Wait, there was one that Groucho sang on the Dick Cavett
Oh,
show.
yeah.
That was the
where
tattooed lady.
he goes.
Easy peasy.
Tattooed lady.
Yeah, no, that was Lydia.
Lydia.
But he had one.
Was it Peasy
Father, he
Weezy?
sang Father's Day.
No. He sang.
Green onions.
Yeah.
Hip hugger.
Yeah. Well, I sing for
Favorite shirts.
Captain Spaulding or Doctor so and so, and he
Captain
goes.
Spaulding.
Yeah, and he goes.
Find out.
For ailment subterminal, my charges are nominal, so it's grateful. There's a rate for tonsillectomy, poor and healthy, sick, poor and healthy. Oh, sick and healthy, poor and wealthy, come directomy. Oh, God bless you, they yell, when I sent them home well. But they never, no, they never send a check to me.
Beautiful.
And then I think Margaret Dumont would sing, he's wonderful for curing things, for famine or for drought. You'll find his cure, you'll find his name is like his cure on everybody's mouth. He's never lost a case. I've never lost a case. I've lost a lot of patients, but I've never lost a case.
That's old Groucho, right? With that Nick Cavett show.
Frank,
Yes.
Frank.
Now, does
can I-
anybody?
Sorry.
Go ahead, Drew.
Let me. I'm sorry for interrupting your interruption. Frank, can I just ask Gilbert?
If we're going
Can
to
I ask?
interrupt, we only interrupt during
Can I
break.
ask Groucho a couple of questions?
Please.
Yes, okay.
Groucho, why did you kidnap the Lindbergh baby?
Because Chico needed the money.
Groucho, why did you execute the Rosenbergs?
Because Chico needed the money.
Groucho, why did you chop off the heads of Nicole and Ron?
Because Chico needed the money.
I see.
Those brothers love each
Groucho,
other.
why did you do Gilbert Gottfried's amazing Colossal podcast?
Because Chico needed the money.
Thank you.
Beautiful. All right, Drew, this one's for you.
Go ahead.
This is from Ghost. This is, I don't know, this is named Ghosty TMRS.
Yeah, Facebook friend.
Your Facebook friend. Of all the 60s Saturday morning versions of Laurel and Hardy, Abbott and Costello, and the Three Stooges, which do you find the most tolerable?
The what? The
animated versions, the
You have
Saturday
another
morning-
question? I don't like that question.
You don't like that question.
Come on, give
I
me a
like the
better one.
name, though. The woman who sent it in. Good name.
And were you or Gilbert fans of the short-lived cartoon Will the Real Jerry Lewis Please Sit Down, which was voiced by David Lander?
Well, I was a fan for that reason. He was 17 when he voiced that. Yeah,
Really?
It's like 1970. I can talk about that for an hour, but that was actually like all Jerry was doing that year was that cartoon, even though he had nothing to do with it. It was like the Beatles cartoons where the Beatles had nothing to do with them except they played their music. But no, I don't like the show. It was terrible. But David Lander was the voice of Jerry.
My father wrote that show.
I remember
I loved it.
With the Beatles cartoon, the guys doing the voices didn't even bother to sound.
They're like old guys.
Yeah, they sounded like John Lennon sounded like Ronald Coleman. Come on, boys, we're going on an adventure.
It sounded like they were hearing impaired. It was they didn't have accents. It was
that guy.
Try it.
It was that guy who used to do the Peter Lorre imitations back in the 40s for
Everybody.
and he did the Colossal Beast voice.
Paul Frees.
It was Paul Frees did John
Frees.
Lennon.
Everything.
Right.
He was like 75 when he did John Lennon on that. I think, the Beatles cartoon.
Now, Frankie,
Watch them.
Was he in? Did he do the Rocky Bullwinkle as well?
No, that was what's her face?
Name like Free.
Oh, Freeze.
June Foray and Bill.
Bill Foray.
And I heard Paul Frees in Humphrey Bogart's last films. They covered up the fact that Humphrey Bogart was really sick, and Paul Frees was doing a Humphrey Bogart imitation.
Really?
In the film.
I heard Humphrey Bogart just move his mouth.
I think his voice was getting more and more slurred.
Yeah, he was dying of cancer. But I heard June Foray was a spinner. Had you ever heard that?
No.
Yeah. What?
A spinner?
What is that?
Can anybody clarify?
Yes, I can't. That she was. I know what a spinner was.
Oh, okay.
She used to mount Dane Clark.
Alleged. They wind her up and she. Allegedly. I heard, this is what I've always heard.
Yeah. Now,
can anybody?
Gil, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Go ahead. I haven't heard all the podcasts. I just heard my own, but. Has Frankie ever told
I figured
the
as
story?
much.
Another Dane Clark story?
No. Has Frankie ever told the story about the girl you try to get a date with at the party?
Oh, that's a long story.
Oh, but it's so great.
I'll tell that one on a future show, I promise.
Oh,
we don't
thanks a
all
lot.
have the boys here.
I know
it's a
Paul
great story.
Frees was the voice of the Cyclops.
That's right.
With Lon Chaney Jr.
Burt Gordon loved him.
Oh, yes.
Yes, he was. And also the Amazing Colossal Beast. They brought him in to do the voice.
So he did Cyclops and Humphrey Bogart.
Right. And he did the narration for Manchurian Candidate.
Wow.
That's right. Here's one for Mr. Persky.
What?
From Joanne Rosado. Christopher Lee turns 93 this week. Can you tell us about working with him
He was
on
terrific.
Serial, the
Yes,
movie you
he was
directed?
Oh, I
terrific.
didn't know
He played the head of a gay motorcycle club. He did. He was a terrific guy. I enjoyed him a lot.
That was an amazing cast in that film.
It was a good movie. It's known as a cult film.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great cast.
I think the Scientologists watch it.
What was he like, Christopher Lee?
He was great. He was just nothing like you would expect him to be like. You know, he was not arch and he was just a guy. He was really
Paul,
good.
who just left the room, worked with Christopher Lee on SNL one time, I think.
That's right.
With,
It was
Yeah,
too
and the
emotional
famous-
for him.
Lorraine Newman demanded Christopher Lee be the guest, because she was a horror film fan. So they finally, gave in to her and hired him. He was great.
Here's one for Drew from...
Oh, wait.
Go ahead.
Christopher Lee. I once heard a tape of him because he served in World War II.
Yeah.
And there was, during a movie, there was one scene where somebody gets stabbed and the actor does a reaction, like the guy who's getting stabbed. And Christopher Lee gets up and he goes, no. When you get stabbed, it's the release of air that you hear. You don't hear it breathing in. It's more like... And he directs, so obviously he had at least stabbed one person during the war, which I found fascinating.
Yeah.
He knew
Did he stab
exactly.
anybody when you worked with him?
No.
How about
Martin Mull
when
came
you're in a
close.
movie,
Bill Macy stabbed.
the director comes up to the actor and gives the direction. That's what I would say. And the director releases the direction.
Yes.
Well, Ronnie Howard
Sit
had
down,
been an
you
actor.
You're right. You're so right, man.
We haven't. Lon Chaney Jr. hasn't come up once so far.
Oh,
and
well,
I'm
that's
shocked.
It's not
We're
a
going to correct
episode of
that.
our
I'm
show.
shocked.
Was he on the show?
What?
Was he on the show with you, Lon Chaney?
Chaney
I
Jr.?
wish.
Oh, God.
He's
loves
Gilbert's favorite actor.
Oh, is that right?
Is
I
Lon
didn't
Chaney
know
Jr.
that.
Why is
Yeah.
he your favorite actor?
I don't know. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, those movies first started coming back on TV, all the Universal. And so I saw like The Wolfman and all those. And of course, of Mice and Men, I thought he was great in.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
I remember The Wolfman, but the only thing I remember was how sad he was that this was going to happen.
Yeah.
Again.
He
I guess
always
maybe
was
'cause he's
sad.
such
What do
a
you
good
expect?
actor.
You
He
expect
always
him to
had
feel
that
good
sad
about it, or
face.
what?
He didn't want to be.
I didn't expect him to play happy or
He didn't want to be a
carefree.
monster. He never wanted to be a monster.
He didn't
I mean,
want to be
you
a
could see it in his face. Yeah,
Yeah.
He fought against it. He wasn't a happy.
He was a
monster.
good actor.
He
was
wasn't a
what I was
happy
trying to
monster.
communicate.
Yeah, you
I-
communicated.
He was
I-
tortured. He was a tortured monster.
I remember, and this was what drives me crazy with writers who write about movies and where they don't know. And so they wrote a review of the Benicio del Toro Wolfman movie. And they said it would have been better if he played someone who didn't want to be the Wolfman. And they said, like Bill Bixby and
Jesus.
We didn't want to be father.
Incredible
My favorite
Should
Hulk.
have been his father. Didn't
And
want
I
to
thought, well, how about like the Wolfman? How about like Lon Chaney and the Wolfman?
Yeah.
Yeah, not like that
He didn't
TV
want to
thing.
be.
Yeah.
Was that it with that movie? I didn't see the newer one. He's like into it.
Is he? Makes sense. He
Full moon,
Enjoy it.
more nights. Go ahead.
Can't wait for my hands to get furry.
he's like Max Baer. He enjoyed
in the werewolf
punishing.
movies. The guy will always complain. I turn into a wolf whenever the moon is full, and you figure, well, that means you turn into a wolf like 3 times a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Three more times than I do.
Somehow in Hollywood there was a full moon every night.
Do you remember
Yes.
do you remember the poem that goes with it?
Even a man who is pure
Pure
at heart and says his prayers by night
may
can
become
become a
a
wolf when the wolfbane blooms and the autumn moon is bright.
That's a Maria Oskenspaia
Yeah.
poem.
Yes.
Yeah.
Poem.
And they changed it in the later
Oh, in the
movies
Ghost of Frankenstein they changed.
to when the moon is full and bright.
That's right.
Because
I noticed
it
that,
wasn't
too.
Autumn all the time.
It was a different
They
poem.
did. Is that why? Or
In the royal bathroom filled with royal gas sits the royal queen, scrubbing her royal crown.
Nipsey Russell.
we never talk about Nipsey Russell.
No,
He
he hasn't come up
We
enough.
don't bring Nipsey
He was
up
great in
enough.
Car 54. He was
These
subdued.
new cutout fashions cause me to wonder in doubt, are they outside trying to get in or inside trying to get out?
And how about how he cut off the sleeves? He would cut off his long sleeve shirts mid arm below the elbow. What was that all about?
Well, that
good
was
look.
Nipsey. That was Nipsey.
It was a good look.
I'm saying Nipsey.
It was a good look.
Nipsey.
That's
Oh, that
Nipsey
was
being
just
Nipsey.
He was the poet laureate.
I see.
Children today are different, as you already know. They used to ask where they came from. Now they tell you where to go.
Nice. He was the poet.
According to Dan Cupid's plan, there is a girl for every man. I'm here to say if this is true, some guy shacking up with 2.
God bless him. God bless
Brilliant.
him.
He was the Robert Frost of Harlem.
He really was.
Yes, he was. Match Game 73. He was
that was the good
Thoreau
year.
of Match Game.
That was the good year.
We all are brothers under the skin. Of this there is no doubt. Then go back under the skin, she said, and send your brother out.
Wonderful. Paul, here's one for you, again from our pal Jonathan Sloman. Did you have anything to do with the takeoff on Telstar in Mr. Mike's Mondo video?
Yes, I arranged I scored Mondo Video, and Telstar was a number that Mr. Mike got the rights to, and we did it. It wasn't so much a takeoff as we just used the number.
Right. Weren't there lyrics written for it?
Yes,
Yeah.
Somebody sang it. Julius LaRosa came in
Julius
Wow, what a coup.
Wow.
and sang the haunting theme from Telstar. That I think Michael wrote the lyrics. Magic star above, is your love. And then we did another version of it when the cats were. They were throwing cats in the swimming pool. That was a whole, like in slow motion. We played Telstar in the back.
Nice.
Hey, talk about how we worked with Gene Pitney. This is one of the greatest things of my life because Gene Pitney was my favorite singer when I was a
Town
kid.
without pity.
Town Without
Yeah.
Pity, Liberty Valance.
Sure. Meryl shot Liberty Valance.
We did
Wow.
Yeah, oh God, yeah.
so we did a takeoff
half
of
heartache, half heaven.
we did a takeoff of Town Without Pity for the theme to Viva Shape Vegas, which was my Cinemax special that Tom and Harry and I wrote together.
Hard to find, but it's
Yeah,
a
it should
must
come
watch
back.
if you can track it down.
Collector's item.
Yeah, it is. It's great.
And
on
Tom
eBay.
wrote most of the lyrics to the opening, Viva Shape Vegas. Where do you run to? Where are you running to? Viva Shape Vegas. And we said, let's get the real Gene Pitney, and we did. We brought him in. And so what else? What else happened?
My favorite thing was, first of all, I'd known you so long, but I said, well, he's telling Gene Pitney what to do. I thought that was so amazing to me. Like, it was great. I mean, and
That he looked like Gene Pitney.
yeah, but you kept
Should
saying
look.
to him, more Gene Pitney. Remember, you could say more Gene Pitney because he
Even
wasn't
more.
pitneying up enough for you.
He wasn't really. He didn't kill it.
No.
Maybe it was in the wrong key. And that's why I kept saying more Gene Pitney. And he was saying, this is my meat. I can't understand. Why can't I get this? So, we got something
That was a big
pretty
thrill
good.
in the showbiz.
Yeah, boy, those are two great. Yeah, when Liberty Valance came to town, the women would
folk
run and hide.
And they'd
They'd
hide.
run and hide.
Oh, in Liberty. They had
When
that
Liberty Valance came to town, the men would step aside. 'Cause the point of a gun was the only law that Liberty understood. When it came to shooting straight and fast, he was mighty good. 'Cause the man who shot Liberty Valance, he shot Liberty Valance. He was the bravest of them all.
Beautiful.
Hey, Paul, who wrote that song?
Dmitri Tiomkin.
Oh, I thought Burt Bacharach did.
No, he wrote a later song for him.
Wow.
Oh, and
Half
Paul,
Heartache, I think.
when we
Well, wait a minute.
stopped-
I guess
Wait.
Dmitri Tiomkin wrote Town Without Pity.
That's right.
That's right.
So you're right.
Yeah.
Bacharach did write Liberty Valance. You are
Yeah.
absolutely right.
Thank
When we stopped to gaze upon a star. Pete, when we stopped to gaze upon a star, people talk about how bad we are. How can we keep love alive? How can anything survive when these little minds tear us into? No, it isn't very pretty. What a town without pity can do.
Oh, boy. I like your version. Do you remember what I remember seeing the coming attractions for Town Without Pity, and I was just a little kid. I mean, I was just about, I don't know, whenever it was
You're
out.
giving away your age.
Yeah, I can't give away my age. Anyway, but the coming attraction, what the movie was about, was these soldiers had their way with a gorgeous young German girl while they're serving overseas. And I remember the coming.
Suddenly, you say had their way with
I don't want to be
you.
vulgar. I don't want
What
to be vulgar on
happened?
the
Did
show.
I doze and you became a
Really? What
had their way?
Frank Gorshin's taking a shit on George Kirby 10 minutes ago.
And you think
Now
that's their
they
way.
had their way with.
All right, touche.
Jesus.
Speaking of music and songwriting, I think we should just acknowledge that Billy wrote
Oh,
a song
very
that was
famous.
famously recorded by Phil Foster.
Yes.
Billy,
Let's
tell us,
keep the Dodgers in Brooklyn.
tell us a
That
little bit
worked.
about it.
Wow, I wish I knew that one. I
You
don't
didn't know? Oh,
You-
do
how's
I
it go?
remember? Let me
Can
see.
we hear a second of
Let's
it?
keep
Go
the
ahead.
Dodgers in Brooklyn.
Say, did you hear the news about what's happening
Fabulous.
in Brooklyn? We really got the blues about what's happening
Yeah.
in Brooklyn. It ain't official yet. We hope official it don't get. But beware, my friend, and let me warn you. They're thinking of taking the bums to California. Let's keep the Dodgers in Brooklyn.
A house is not a home without some love. Don't let them leave our premises. LA would be their nemesis, cause Brooklyn fits the Dodgers like a glove.
Mr.
Walter O'Malley, we always called you Pally. We stuck with you through thick and thin. But you take away our Dodgers. Guys like Luke and Hodges, we ain't no pal no more the way we've been. Let's keep the Dodgers in Brooklyn. That's
A house is not a home
without some love.
Don't let them
I like the next verse. I like
would be their
nemesis, cause Brooklyn fits the Dodgers like a glove. Offer our bridges. You could take them widgets. I love that part.
But we all feel so glum
Without Duke and Gilliam.
We need one left to jump off in despair. Really, what would Brooklyn be without the Dodgers? Well, Brooklyn would be like a pair of socks that's holy, without Jackson and Somoli. Like a bed without a pillar, without Erskine and Barilla. Like a ship without a harbor, without Padres and the barber. Like the sun without its shine, without Zimmer and Levine. Like the birds without a bee, without Alston and Pee-wee. And here I am, a poet, and I didn't even know it. So send the Phils to Trenton, the Giants to St. Paul, but keep the bums in Brooklyn, the greatest ball of all. So let's keep the Dodgers in Brooklyn.
Actually, Sam and I are singing in the background.
It's you and Sam in the background?
In the background.
Phil Foster.
Keep the Dodgers in Brooklyn, USA. We really love them. Keep the Dodgers in Brooklyn. O'Malley, do me one favor. Mind your business and stay home. Don't leave town.
Oh, my God.
Mercy.
That was really a big song at the time.
That's
Made 11 cents.
Great.
No,
And it's great that it really worked.
You should have just. I can't believe you went on to do even greater things. I mean,
Now, Phil Foster and that whole group of guys, those comedians,
Catskill
back in
guys,
those,
yeah.
Catskill guys, there was nothing like those guys. They were so funny. They used to all get in one guy's car and drive up to the Catskills. It was just an amazing time, and they were funny.
Did you see Jerry Lewis perform?
Yes.
Up in the Catskills.
Yes.
he saw him
When
the
he was
night. The second night after
I was
500 Club.
in Atlantic
Oh.
City. I lived in Atlantic City, and they
So when he
did
teamed
the
up with
500 Club.
Wow.
You lived in
Everybody
Atlantic.
said, "Jesus, these guys!" And so we went to the 500 Club and saw them the second night
what were
they
you
ever
doing
worked.
living in Atlantic City?
Huh?
You lived in Atlantic
Oh
City?
God, the best place in the world
Tell
to grow
them
up.
about your dad, what he
before the
you grew up
before
there,
Shepherding the career of Johnny Casanova.
No, yes, you know about Johnny.
Are you kidding? I'm buying the right.
Atlantic City before gambling was the most fabulous place you can
Oh, my
imagine.
God.
Oh, it was just great. I lived on the boardwalk. My father owned an auction gallery right across from Steel Pier. We all used to ride our bikes to school on the boardwalk. Oh, it was great. And my whole childhood now, 30 square blocks, is a parking lot. I went down there to look. It's gone. There's nothing but buses coming in. They're driving over my childish body. Oh, Atlantic City was great. When the gambling first came in, it was like hotels came down like from nowhere. There were people's legs hanging out from under them. It was they put them any place that there was a building, and they built inside of it so that they could get the gambling up fast enough. They didn't build new hotels. They just
But there
took
was-
over things.
There was always gambling up at Skinny D'Amato's upstairs over the club.
Yeah,
right?
well, yeah.
When
and
Skinny D'Amato never looked very skinny.
the
to me.
500, no.
Yeah.
It wasn't
No.
skinny.
What's up with
I've
that?
seen a
No,
lot
It
of
was
photos.
ironic. I think it was ironic.
I saw a lot of photos of him. He never looked skinny.
Yeah. Good
I always
point.
wondered about that.
Yeah.
Oh, God, it was a great place.
Wow. Is this the 6th hour of the show?
Here's a couple of last quick ones, and then we'll wrap it
How
up.
long have we been doing this for crying out
I'm telling you.
I lost the soup size.
Can we just find out who's the president? I want to find out who's
Who's
the
president now?
What, from Rich Brown, Craig, will you be in the Three Stooges sequel? And did you love working with Dabney Coleman?
I loved working with Dabney Coleman, who is one of the great, funny bad guys. I think he's just. I think he was is an impeccable comic actor. He's one of those guys who we were talking about, who they do something so well that nobody else could do it. I remember there was one joke that was the first. Remember a show called Buffalo Bill?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The first joke, it was the greatest on-character joke, and it was the very first joke. Someone comes in, and he's doing his makeup. He's getting ready to do this. He plays a small-town talk show host in Buffalo, and someone comes in and goes, "Hey, Frank Robinson is." He goes, "Frank Robinson." Oh, geez, let me make sure I remember it. He goes, "Frank Robinson just died." And he turns around and Dabney Coleman goes, "Oh my God, you're kidding me, Frank Robinson? Oh my God, oh my God!" He goes, he went in his sleep. It was painless, and he goes, "Oh, he died. I thought you said he was here." Could you imagine if the Hitler story went over like that? Had you not
Had I
steamrolled
not
through
stepped. Hey, Craig. Someone said to ask you. Someone tweeted me, "Did you fuck Gina Davis?"
Good question.
It is a good question. I don't know.
Oh, did you fuck Gina Davis?
Yeah, the 80s were weird.
How about Ozzy
Now,
Davis?
what about the Three Stooges movie? The Three Stooges sequel. You got to.
I seriously doubt I would be.
Don't mind me sitting next to you.
No, I know your feeling. You know, I told you.
I know.
It took me a month.
Craig got the part
It
in the
took-
Three Stooges movie.
And
He
it took
said,
me a
"How am
month
I
to
gonna
call
tell-"
him and tell him that I was doing the Three Stooges movie.
Right. I said it's okay. It's work is work. It's okay by me. It's fine.
If my character somehow became Shemp, I would do it and to honor.
I think
my
Linda
friend
Hunt.
here.
Linda Hunt should play perfect Shemp. I
doubt that I think you know what I heard is that what they're going to do, because this time they'd like people to come and see the movie. They figured the formula was interesting last time, but what if we have people in a theater facing the screen? What if we do that? And then they're going to maybe it'll be a different experience. So they're going to have I think they're going to get like a big action star. So who knows? Maybe
Dwayne
Charlton
The Rock
Heston,
Johnson as
Joan
Shemp.
Namath. What?
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Who's going to be Curly Joe DeRita?
I don't know.
Brad-
I don't know
Brad
if they're going
Pitt
to go.
and,
I don't know if they're going to go into the deep cuts.
Well, are they going to bring back Larry David as the nun? That was. Everybody loved that
They
part.
were talking originally. I heard that the movie was going to be Benicio del Toro as Mo, Sean Penn as Larry, and Jim Carrey as
I can tell
Curly.
you, even insider information. When I was doing Cinderella Man, they flew to Australia to speak to Russell about being Mo. I can't even imagine, but can you imagine? Like the world's Mo. He's Mo Howard to the world.
Wow.
And they were there for the weekend, and he was talking to them.
Oh, seriously.
Hold on a second. Paul's penis is yelling.
Paul just made $5 of his own money.
I told him not to call me.
Craig Villarico story has to be interrupted.
What is that?
There's no way to.
I'm sorry.
Isn't it amazing?
Craig.
I'll finally get a great story out,
Craig,
and I'll
I'm
get.
sorry.
Oh, he had 30-second cancer.
Yeah.
I'll die of 30-second
right.
cancer. It's the only case ever.
Well, Gilbert.
Whether I interrupt or music
It doesn't matter. Who was it? Is everybody all
No,
right?
I don't know.
I found it all right.
I made 47 cents. That's all.
Now, I want to know, did Russell Crowe know that these guys were coming to pitch him the part of Mo?
Yeah.
Or did he get there and go,
I
"Wait,
heard
you
the
flew
story.
over
I
here?"
heard the story from one of the people who there was a whole group of people that they were going after at one time. And this was while we were shooting Cinderella Man, which would have been 2005, I guess. Paul Giamatti, they wanted to do Larry. They wanted just imagine Russell in that goddamn wig. Just the idea of it. Even that. With an egg beater over a body and with the hospital scrubs.
They couldn't
Do you
make
think
his
he
number.
even knew who Mo was?
I doubt it. I don't think it was his thing.
Well, I guess he was flattered, but can you imagine?
I don't think he was.
I think
flattered.
the Three Stooges' biggest fan is Mel Gibson, and he's also the biggest Jew hater that exists.
Yeah, we left him out earlier.
Way to bring it back.
Well,
he
they're
loved
not mutually
he loved the Three Stooges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never got the
that make
Jim
sense?
Carrey. Jim Carrey's endlessly talented, but he's a big, tall, thin man and curl. I never understood how they were going to do that. But,
Hey, do you know whose father was a Nazi? Who's that actor on the
Arnold
political show?
Schwarzenegger's
No,
father was a Nazi.
the guy who was in Beauty. The guy who's on what's that political show, honey? In the booth?
What
Bill
political
Maher.
show?
No.
The political.
The one where
Jon
he plays
Stewart.
the president
with the what?
on HBO. He plays the president. What's the guy? He played Bobby Darin in a movie.
Oh, Kevin Spacey.
Kevin
Kevin
Spacey.
Yeah.
His father was a Nazi.
Well, it was a big story that came out like a couple of months ago.
I like it.
You didn't read this? I can't believe you.
We're breaking
His
news.
father
What
was
have
a
you guys
Nazi?
been doing? What have you been so busy you didn't know
Kevin
this?
I'm gonna spread it.
Spacey's father was a
If you look
Nazi?
it up right
But that
now,
would have been
on
like
the
a
internet.
Nazi in in the 60s, like a
Yeah.
hippie, not like a
But he
hippie
would
Nazi.
dress up. His father would dress up
hippie
like
Nazi.
Adolf Hitler.
Like George
And
Lincoln.
walk
Style.
Yeah.
every night.
Nice.
Every night he would dress up like
Strut
Hitler.
around like
Well,
Hitler.
Yeah.
Was he vegetarian?
I
At least he
heard
was home with his kids.
They found photos of Arnold Schwarzenegger's father.
Oh, yeah, he really
And
was a Nazi.
Yeah, he was a higher up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And he was a wannabe Nazi.
Yeah.
This guy's father.
Well, it's,
Which is fun to say.
Oh, so I have to start wrapping up the show.
Oh, my God.
Are you
we never
kidding?
brought up Milton Berle.
That's only been
Finally.
2 hours.
Okay.
Wait a minute. I want to
That's
ask
a
Tom.
marathon.
Tom, did you paint Paul Benedict's house?
Yes.
All right, that's all I want to know.
Okay.
Thank you.
What color?
And he had acromegaly.
What color?
I don't remember the color. I do remember it was June.
He did have acromegaly like Rondo.
Yes, because he
That's
was
why
the
he
guy
could-
from
From the
Good
Jefferson.
Times.
The Jefferson.
Yeah.
Bentley on the
I
Jeffersons.
heard he was in a play.
Yes,
And
true story. He
afterwards,
told me that story.
Yeah, a doctor said to him, could you come back? I want to meet you backstage. And he thought he wanted an autograph. And the doctor said, I think you may have acromegaly.
Yeah.
The Rondo Hatton disease.
Yeah.
I said the same thing to Judy Carn.
Was this after Burt Reynolds beat her up with the...
Yeah. But he had that, and that's why he couldn't paint his own house. Somehow you can't paint your own house if you have that.
That's the disease.
That's the disease.
You can't paint your own
More
house.
than like 800 million people get
See,
it.
they're telling me to wrap up.
Oh.
So
Oh.
we've been
We're just
recording
getting
at
started. We're
Nutmeg
just getting
Post.
started.
Nutmeg Post with our engineer, Frank Verderosa.
Thank you,
How did we
Frank.
get him? How did
That's
you
so
get
right.
him?
You're a champ.
How did you
And
get
thank you,
him?
Nutmeg.
This has been Gilbert Gottfried's amazing Colossal podcast.
Can we go out with
my
a song?
Co-host Frank Santopadre. We've had on and
The dirt that the bottom of the totem pole is dug into.
the bottom of the barrel will start and then build from then. So of course the very bottom of the barrel, Craig Bierko.
Thank you, Craig.
Yes.
He's the bottom of the barrel.
That's the bottom.
General music. Just general music.
Drew Friedman.
Drew, you have a new book that you're working on.
That's okay.
What is the new book?
I forget.
All right. So much for the
How
plugs.
could you forget your own book?
We should say Drew Friedman is the defender of the classics.
Yeah.
Yes.
He really is.
He really is.
He's a purist.
Tom Leopold.
What are you yelling?
You need a lunch.
Bill Persky.
The old timer.
The legend.
Comedy legends.
The old timer.
And of course, on organ, Paul Schaefer.
Thank you. What a guest we've had today.
And since this has been a year, I just want to say that a lot of people go into the making of this podcast. We want to thank them really quickly. Rodney Swearingen, Sean Marek, Heather Cooney, Maria Spertolozzi, Eddie Marino, Glenn Schwartz, Stuart Hirsch, Andrew Stephen, Wade Snook, Mike McPadden, our social media director, Darren Foster, and of course, the lovely Dara Gottfried. We could not do a show without her. It would just be Gilbert and I on the F train asking people about Bill Bixby.
And how about Joe Franklin?
And we want to say something. And yes, Joe Franklin.
Your only guest who has passed away.
God bless you, Joe.
Oh, he's the only one? I don't feel so good myself.
I'll tell you, if this runs any longer, I'm going to be the second one.
It's beautiful. Thank you, guys. It was a treat.